Nice to have that tribute and to have that spirit, and that's what we try and make work for ourselves here at Pinjar Park. Just a little reminder that we are going live to the world tonight, courtesy of Front Row Screens, and the boys at Front Row Screens, the girls at Front Row Screens, we thank you for your involvement in Pinjar Park, and we look forward to the racing tonight, and particularly the Jeff Gittus Memorial.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be back here at Pinjar Park Speedway. Another big meeting ahead, and the track in supreme condition once again. 20 degrees, a little bit of a northeasterly breeze blowing here, but it's a little bit gentle out here, so all the riders should have no problems whatsoever in terms of tailwinds. The sidecars, they're just about to get back into the pits, but they'll be set to go for their heats, the B final and, of course, the A final a little later on tonight. And we thank you, wherever you may be across Western Australia and around the racing world, joining us on our stream live on Front Row Screens. It's going to be a great night. But now let's get back to Graham and Grant, the first race of the night for the 250cc's.
Yes, thanks very much, Paul. Thanks very much, Grant. And young Taya there, 10 years old with the national anthem. How good is that? Looks like a wonderful evening coming up. Welcome to Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway. Grant's just making his way back up to the control tower, and he'll take the call of the evening's racing. And we look forward to a brilliant night of racing. As Terry Dorrington, the chaplain, said, a safe night of racing, and we all go home and enjoy our evening here. Talk about the weather. Well, look, sun setting, beautiful evening here at Pinjar Park, a mild evening, very little breeze if any, and I think partly cloudy. 23 degrees is the official temperature. Winds north to northeast at 19 kilometres per hour, and that information's brought to us for Front Row Screens. That's the current weather situation right here at Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway. As we said earlier in the broadcast, one of the innovations that Front Row Screens is bringing us this evening is in fact a timing monitor here, so for those of you at home, you'll be able to see the lap times on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and Grant will deliver those to you as the racing goes on.
Only if I press the button, Graham.
If Grant presses a button. I'll hand over
That's
to Grant.
That's complicated. Press it to start, press it to stop. That's about as sophisticated as I can get. Wasn't it wonderful, the national anthem, young Taya? And there is a challenge down there, you know, because there's a little bit of a delay in when you talk and when the sound comes back. So, you know, you're into the second verse and the first one hasn't finished.
Well,
but anyway.
It sounded good from here. She's a very talented young girl, got a big future in front of her.
The Pickering Brook Mafia has arrived for you. So, yeah. It's all good. So we've got on screen at the moment, as you can probably see at home, folks, courtesy of Front Row Screens, some of our sidecar passengers. But for those of us here, we're getting ready for the first event of the evening now. My impression is it might be a sidecar race. I'll just wait and see if that is the case. Paul Persick is joining us in the pits tonight. Have you got someone we can speak to at the moment, Paul?
Yes, I do, Grant. I've got Jesse Thomas with me. He came close to victory last time around. You hungry for more this year?
Yeah, always. We always are. Last time it was close, but gremlins with the bike always seem to happen on those big race meetings and a bit of bad luck. But hopefully our changes for today, and I'm hoping for a big win today.
What sort of changes have you made? Because the conditions at the track are a little bit different compared to the last event.
Not so many changes, but we've fixed the bike up, making it run properly now. And yeah, the track's always different every time you go out, so it's just a bit of a gamble, but I think we'll be all right.
Well, good luck with yourself and Reece tonight in the Sidecar Memorial.
Cheers, thank you.
That was the Shutterguard Pit Report, and we'll be back with more across the night.
Thanks very much. The Paul Persick down in the pits, and Jesse Thomas joining us. Jesse, who's the swinger, the passenger for Reese Liptrot. And so we've set Paul a little bit of an assignment there in terms of what he's got to do for us. Going to chase some people down all through the night and share it with us over the PA system. But if you want to get your Facebook page up, your Pinjar Park Facebook page, and on your mobile phone, you'll be able to see that broadcast which we're sending out across the universe. Now, I'm just trying to work out if this, in fact, is the first sidecar heat we're going to see, Graham, because I know we've had to make a few changes to the program. This is Bujos and Blackman here. So, yeah, there they are. So, and I think Lee and Corey are riding out of gate 2. So this will be, for those of you who have a program, you might be a little bit confused by this, but it's going to be heat 59, I reckon. I'm pretty confident it's heat 59 with Mark Drew and Mick Sitar, Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman, Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas, and Rock Bryan and David Mercer. In fact, that's what it is. So you've got heat 59 out there at the moment, just to try and get the program moved around the right way.
Well, this is what you've come to see, folks. This will be a lung buster. A great first heat to kick off the Jeff Gittus Memorial Sidecar event here at Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway.
Oh, great start there by Drew and Sitar down low, and they're going to take the lead first time through. Going to try and drift up high, but coming down underneath, that'll be the Liptrot-Thomas combination, and that's Jesse Thomas on the side, the boy that Paul Persick was speaking to just a moment ago, and there in the lead, Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas up front and onto the infield a little bit. I think that might have been the Bujos Blackman bike. Drew back to third place now. That's Drew and Sitar going backwards, if anything. Reese Liptrot continues to lead this one down the main straight here, the Peter Muller main straight, halfway home in this, the first heat of the Jeff Gittus Memorial for 2021. Establishing a good lead, Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas on board the 6-bike. Jesse reckoned they might have had a few gremlins over the past few meetings, but they'd hopefully got it sorted out. Lee Bujos riding well in second, then back to Mark Drew in third. But no stopping the boy in front, and that's Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas. They're going to take the win in this one. Cross the line in 66.56, 66.56. I'm just going to write that down, 66.56. Taking the win were Liptrot and Thomas over Bujos and Blackman, Drew and Sitar in third, Bryan and Mercer back in fourth, 66.56. See if we can go to the pits now, and Paul, are you there with us? Okay, we'll just go through those placings in that one. Now, folks, that was heat 59. It does seem a strange way to start the meeting with heat 59, but we needed to do that to sort a few of the sidecar teams out. Just to repeat those placings, Reese Liptrot and Jesse Thomas first in 66.56. Second home, Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman. Third was Mark Drew and Mick Sitar. Fourth, Rock Bryan and David Mercer. So this second heat of sidecars does line up Troy Craig and Fred Dillon. I don't recognise them as a team at this stage, but hopefully out there very shortly. Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall, blue out of 2. Jack Fuster, Jonas Sitar, white out of 3. Cruz McVie, David Mercer, yellow out of 4. So that's the lineup.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how Russell Mitchell goes. He's coming back. He's only ridden once this season, and he only did one lap before he had a major crash down here in turns 4. And so he's on the suspension bike this evening to give him a bit of comfort on his hip issue. But as I said earlier, he's finished on the dice in 5 out of the 7 Jeff Gittus Memorial events has been up to date.
They've got a minute to get on track, whoever is not out there. So I can see the Fuster Sidecar combination at the front. So we've got 2 Sidecars riding tonight, a father and son. We saw Mick Sidecar out in the last heat on the back of Mark Drew's bike. That's Dad, and on the back of the Jack Fuster bike is young Jonas Sidecar. Young, I say. I think he's 19 and Jack's 16. So, well, 17 fairly shortly.
Jack's just had a birthday, yes, so he's now 17. Yes.
Yeah, their combined age would not reach you or me, Graham. Well, I'm trying to be kind to you, but...
Morgan Cornwall on the back there with Russell Mitchell.
Another young fella.
When they had their crash, he injured his shoulder, but he's back fit and well, rearing to go. Only a lightweight. And of course, we've spoken about the Fuster Sidecar team. What a combination they are.
So we've got 297 bikes out there. Now let's distinguish them. The one with the blue helmet is Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall. The one with the yellow helmet here on the outside, closest to the fence, Cruz McVie and David Mercer. Both Russell Mitchell bikes. Russell has lent his solid frame to McVie for the evening's races. So I haven't seen Drew and, pardon me, I haven't seen Craig and Dylan before. They're out of 1. See who gets the best start, and it looks like it's Russell Mitchell who gets the best start, and Jack Fuster's going to tuck in behind him. Russell Mitchell, a great start. Flogs it down the back straight and into 3 and 4. He is your leader at this stage. Russell Mitchell from Jack Fuster, Jonas Sidecar. And then the boy running third is Troy Craig and Fred Dillon. I don't know that combination. I don't know if you can help me at all with it, Graham, but they're doing pretty well at this stage. Fuster looking to the outside of Mitchell and Cornwall. That doesn't work for them. They're going to have to put on a lot more pressure on the Mitchell-Cornwall combination, because Russell Mitchell, former Australian and Western Australian champion, really has the bike dialed in, as we've got 1 to run here at Pinjar, down the Peter Mueller Main Straight, holding a good lead over Fuster and Sidecar, and then back to the combination of Craig and Dillon, who are keeping McVie and Mercer at bay in that 3rd place. But bring him on home, folks. Taking his first win for the night, Russell Mitchell. Mitchell from Fuster, and then, whoa! So I think it might have been the yellow-helmeted McVie who got there ahead of Mercer, because you got an off-field excursion. So we'll go with Mitchell and Cornwall first. Second home was Fuster and Sidecar. Third home, McVie and Mercer. Fourth home was Troy Craig and Fred Dillon, who had a little bit of an off-field excursion. 66.647. 66.647 as we go to the pits.
You tried a good one with yourself and Ash Thomas in the first one.
Yeah, it was a good win. We had some bike problems. The old boy is going to work now. Don't know if it's fuel or electrical, but we'll get it sorted.
We touched upon pre-race that you're running 2 cars. It's the first time this season. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got it back up. So if they can't get this one sorted, we'll go out on the second one.
Well, good luck out there tonight. So far, so good.
Thanks, mate.
Reece Liptrot in the pits there with Paul Persick, and a little bit of an indication of how things are going for Reece. He'd be happy with that first up win. But we'll see another new combination out in this heat, and that's Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft. They're in the program in place of Steve Sutherland and Matty Major. So you'll need to write that one in, folks. This is Heat 61. Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft replacing Steve Sutherland and Matty Major. Heat 61, red out of 1, Jeff Bishop, Clinton Holmwood. Blue out of 2, Ewell and Heft, as mentioned. White out of 3, Darren Nash, Ash Shield. And yellow out of 4, well, it looks, well, that can't be right. It can't be Craig and Dillon again. So we've got 2 teams out there at this point.
Who's that?
So this is bike 31. I'll see who bike 31 is. We haven't got a number against the Craig Dillon bike. Yeah, go with it.
Yeah, I'm here with Stephen McMurray. Stephen, good run out there.
Yeah, just a bit difficult conditions and just trying to get to know the track early in the piece. It'll come good as the night gets on, but first race is just a bit hard going.
Because it was quite slippery out there beforehand?
I wouldn't say slippery, it's just a little bit heavy. And we're just struggling to get the bike to turn properly in the first part of the corner. And we're not leaving the corners very well, so as it turned out in the last one. So.
Well, let's hope the hard work pays off in the remaining heats and in the finals.
Thank you.
Stephen McMurray there. So we'll just find out who this team here on the outside in the yellow is. So they're both sitting way back. Oh, sort of a start was that. We had two sitting back there, but I guess that's the way it was determined. So this is Jeff Bishop's going to come down the inside of Darren Nash and Ash Shield and jump to the front. He's going to drift pretty high though, and that's what Nashy will want. Slides out in front of him and into the lead again. Darren Nash, Ash Shield. Here comes Jeff Bishop back again, but Nashy's going to have to tighten it down. He's just drifting a little bit too high there in that turn 1 and 2. Still high in the track, and Jeff Bishop's going to work him pretty hard. Going to make the pass, you would think. I know he's cut him right down. So Nash and Shield with a fight on their hands from a very, very powerful bike that's underneath Jeff Bishop and Chromie Homewood, but Nash getting away with one to run, you'd say. So Nash and Shield just tend to drift a little bit high, and they've got two. That's definitely, we'll go through those third and fourth place getters in a moment, but all the action up front with Darren Nash getting the start to the night that he wants. Nash and Shield taking the win from Bishop and Homewood.
Well, that's what you come to see, folks. How good is that? Sidecar racing is very best.
So that's a 63-65. 63-65. That's pretty good. That's quick. Now, we do not know the number for the Craig Dillon bike, so if anybody is able to pass that back to us through the PA, that would be lovely. I think that the 31 bike ran third in that. The Yule Heft bike was in fourth place. So not quite sure on that third place entirely, Graham.
No, I can't help you at all.
No.
Right?
Well, we did have Troy Craig and Fred Dillon listed in red out of one in the previous heat, and then they've come out in yellow in that one. So I don't think that's possible. Following heat, this is heat 62. Red out of 1, Scott Charsley, Matt Rees. Blue out of 2, Ryan van der Linden, Adam van der Linden. White out of 3, Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester. Yellow out of 4, Benjamin Thompson, Jamie Thompson. As you say, Graham, we haven't seen the Thompson brothers since the Woofy track a couple of years ago. We've certainly seen the brother, Jamie, I think, on the side quite often.
He's been doing a bit of swinging in the meantime, of course, yes.
Haven't seen Ben.
Well, it looks like we might have a non-starter in the Van der Linden brothers. There's only 3 outfits. The pit gate is closed, so that's a real shame.
A DNS to Ryan and Adam.
And Justin Winchester on the back of Daniel Bishop's bike, straight from his brother's wedding to the racetrack, and now on the back of the sidecar.
Got the suit on underneath. And the War Pig, courtesy of Scotty Charsley and Matt Rees, 22 down there on the inside. The gates are gone up. And it's a good start too to the 22. Scott Charsley and Matt Rees. Scotty might be a little bit rusty on the sidecar, hasn't had a run for a couple of years. And that'll be one of the Bishops through into the lead. That's Daniel Bishop, I believe. And as you say, with Justin Winchester on the back. So he's down in the lead there. And then back to the Thompsons in fourth. Charsley and Rees running in second, but they're high, wide and handsome. And I think the Thompsons might have run on the infield for just a moment. But your leader, he's got the 82 on the side now, no longer running with the 1. That's Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester. They both ride that bike superbly as a team. Into 3 and 4 they come. This will be the yellow flag out for DB. Scott Charsley, Matt Rees, hopefully not disappointed with their run at this stage. They're back in second place and only the 3 in this one. As you say, we've lost the Van der Lindens at some point. As we come onto the main straight, Daniel Bishop takes the win. Bishop from Scotty Charsley and Matt Rees, and then the Thompsons. So a good win to Daniel Bishop. Will give you the time on that one, 66.74, 66.74. Second home, Scott Charsley and Matt Rees. That's pretty good on return. Unfortunately, Van der Linden's no start for them, Graham.
No, that's a real shame. They're great competitors, and the bike looks superb. So maybe they've just got a few issues in the pits, and they might appear later in the program. We'll let you know.
So what in fact we might do is go to the pits now, and Paul, over to you.
Yes, I've got Ash Shield with me. Ash, you might have got the win in the earlier heats, but there was smoke pouring out of the motor.
Yeah, we got a little overheating problem we're trying to sort out. We've been playing around during the week, and that's what it's all about, to see if we've actually fixed that problem.
Was it all down to the bike being very drivey, as you mentioned off the air, because of the conditions of the track?
I mean, yeah, it is drivey, but we were on the limiter a bit. So, it's revving, so, yeah, working over.
Let's hope we can get it sorted out quickly. Good luck.
No worries, thank you.
Ash Shield, passenger with Darren Nash.
So this will be heat 22, the 125.
So here we go. This is the junior finals. So we've gone back to the main program now, if you like. So we're at the top of your program where it says junior finals. This is the 125cc B final. Dominic Colmore red out of 1. Phoenix Elliott blue out of 2. Noah Sandilands white out of 3. Jake Corbett yellow out of 4. Alex Prawl should be green out of 5 on the junior track. Good start by Dom Colmore down low. Phoenix Elliott chases him out. We are missing one. I don't know who that is because it's Noah Sandilands back there, and this will be Alex Prawl who can't quite make that 3-4 turn, and he's finished up down here. So Dom Colmore, your leader on the junior track there in the infield, as he gets a little bike. The 125cc wound up about as tight as he can get it. Phoenix Elliott giving good chase and came around that corner superbly in chase of Colmore, not able to make up any ground on him, so it's going to be a Colmore win, I think. Dominic Colmore, 125cc Bs, takes the win. Colmore home in 45.08, 45.08, taking the win in that one. In good form, he's won everything all night, Graham.
Clean sweep of the program, all of his heats, and then the final for juniors.
Yep.
Well done. Terrific little rider.
So you can go back to the pits and have a hamburger, Coke and chips. He's had a win. Dom Colmore on all his heats and the final, as you say, Graham, his time 45.08. We'll bring the 125cc A's out. Red out of 1, Lincoln Metcalf. Blue out of 2, Hunter Mason. White out of 3, Mitchell McDermott. Yellow out of 4, Trevor Dossett. Green out of 5, Xander Smith. We've got 3, 4, 5. We've got them all there. Good start by Hunter Mason. Hunter Mason into the lead. Mitchell McDermott. It's Lincoln Metcalf. Lincoln Metcalf in the lead from Mitchell McDermott. Then the Hunter Mason. Mitchell McDermott right on the tail of Metcalf, going to try and find a way down underneath. It's not happening for him at the moment. Halfway home in this A final for the 125s. Lincoln Metcalf looking to go 5 for 5 at this stage. He's got one to run. The yellow's out for him. Sparks off the shoe. Lincoln Metcalf back straight junior track through 3 and 4 in the lead. Mitchell McDermott final challenge, doesn't get there. Metcalf, McDermott and Mason. Great race, Graham.
Oh, absolutely. And again, clean sweep of the program for Lincoln Metcalf. All of his heat races and then saw off Mitch McDermott in the final there. Great ride.
41.32. 41.32. There is a combined AB final towards the end of these junior finals, so be interesting to get Dommy Colmore out there with these, senior riders. Metcalf from McDermott and Mason. 41.32. We can go to the pits for just a second while the 50cc's are on there. Paul.
Yeah, I'm here with the Mitchell Cornwall Corps. Morgan Cornwall with me. A lot of work on the shocks being done.
Yeah, just a bit. It's new gear, so we're testing it out, seeing how it goes, trying different variations.
What do you make of the track at the moment?
At the moment, the track seems to be going pretty well. It's good grip for us, at least.
Had a win in the first heat. Let's hope you go back to back.
That's always the plan.
Good luck out there, mate.
Cheers.
Mitchell. Russell Mitchell and Morgan Call. Morgan's always a man of well-chosen words. He well said. So, he's almost the perfect build for a sidecar passenger, isn't he? He's small, he's light, but he knows where to go and what to do, and he's got such a marvellous tutor in Russell Mitchell steering that bike around.
Started out as a junior here, if you recall, on junior sidecars and moved up through the ranks into seniors. Nice young man. Had a big crash last time out with Russell and hurt his collarbone, as I understand, but he's back in good shape again now, and a win for their trouble.
So these are the 50cc's. It's not a race. If you've been here before and you know what the 50cc's are all about, it's a learning division entirely. It's getting used to speedway protocol, what the flags mean, how to operate, get up to the start, make the start. If someone comes down in front of you, how to deal with that, dealing with traffic, although not a lot of traffic at the moment, but sometimes these 50cc fields are quite numerous, if you like. A lot of riders out there, but just a small field in this one. So I'm just looking at the normal rundown of the 50cc guides. And Ollie Corbett, Jai Robson, Pace Sternfield's, Caden Keane are our normal 50cc riders. Well, they're the ones that are nominated for this evening, and we don't wave the checkered flag, we wave the club flag, which does have some checkers in it, but it's the Pinjar Park club flag, or the Speedway Motorcycle Club of Western Australia flag. So well done to all the boys in the 50cc's. We'll probably go to the 110cc final, I'm thinking. And if that's the case, it should be Kobe Robson, red out of one. Young Robbins, blue out of two. Mason Robbins it is, blue out of two. Pace Sternfels, Old Pal, white out of three. Phoenix Elliott, yellow out of four. That's how they'll line up. So we get through, juniors really appreciate the opportunity of running on the main program, albeit on the junior track. And so the boy in red, that was Kobe Robson, who was top point scorer. That gave him the red. Has had a malfunction and he's going to be out. Whoa! And Phoenix Elliott with a good save there and almost dropped the model. He's going to have to chase Pace Sternfels down again, because that's young Pace in the lead, I believe. I think it's Sternfels. He's supposed to be riding in white, but he's not. He's in blue. So he's in the lead. That's Sternfels was in the lead. Elliott goes around the outside of him. So the boy in white, in fact, is possibly Mason Robbins. But, this is going to be a win to Phoenix Elliott. Takes the 110 out tonight in 54.4. 54.4 was Elliott's time. 54.4 for Phoenix Elliott, and winning that one from Pace Sternfels, Mason Robbins, and unfortunately for Kobe Robson, wasn't able to start in that one. He got to the start line but went no further. Elliott in 50.44. Now, we should have a combined A and B final. I don't know if it's the top three from the A and then they add Dom Colmore into it, quite possibly. So I know the folks at home have got a bit of vision of one of the sidecars being repaired as we, well, I don't know if it's being repaired, but being adjusted as well. Well, we got a couple of 250 boys out there. Okay. Wasn't aware of that. So this will be Lincoln Metcalf. Or is it Kobe Robson? You can tell me, Graham. No, it's Lincoln Metcalf and
Lincoln
Marshall
Mitchell
McDermott. Mitchell McDermott. Well, it could be Marshall. You never know. One's got a moustache, one hasn't. So, not a race as such, just a trial for them or a bit of learning. So they're out there giving it a run.
Yeah, these lads are not old enough to race competitively on 250s at this moment. Next year, I believe they'll be both on 250cc solo racing competitively.
Well, not old enough to officially ride competitively because, you know, they are certainly very competent at what they're doing. McDermott and Metcalf, who are pretty close to the top of the 125cc division in Western Australia. In fact, Mitchell McDermott, the boy with the white helmet on, going down the straight now, is the Western Australian champion in the 125cc's. Lincoln Metcalf has had the better of him tonight, though, has won all of his heats in the 125s and then came out and won the final just recently. But as you say, they're both contenders for the 250s next season when they are officially old enough to ride. I think if my ears are correct, we can go to the pits for an update. Cooling off in the pits. All right, I'm sorry. So yeah, we've got in the pits for those of you who can see, and I'll describe it for those of us here trackside. They've got a fan blowing full speed on the radiator of the Jack Fuster bike, just trying to cool it down. It's pretty muggy out there as we bring the first of these. Is this the first of the 250s out there? It is.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to wait and see what happens here, Graham, because after this one I think we're going to handicap them for the night. Jack McDermott red out of 1, Xander Smith blue out of 2, Luke Colleen white out of 3, Colby Mason yellow out of 4. Oh, beautiful start by Luke Colleen. Jack McDermott with a good start too, and Jack's down low, McDermott's up high. That's where the challenge is, 1 and 2. Colleen in the lead though. Colleen always going to drop the model, and I think it's Mason's brought it down to avoid, and so this will be a rerun. The yellow's out, so Mason dropped the bike nicely to avoid.
Well, there was a classic example of what these young lads had been taught to do, and that was drop the bike whenever there was an incident.
Yep.
And Colby Mason did that to perfection.
He
well
did.
done. Very well done.
Superbly done. And we say both on microphone and off microphone, it's a skill that every rider needs. I'm just wondering about the muffler or the exhaust system of the Colleen bike, because plenty of exhaust coming out there, and so it might be bent a little in that fall. So Luke's gone back to the pits, so we're okay to go here. And I think
Colby Mason's bike doesn't look that flash from here either.
No, it's hard to get an angle on it from where we are, but so yeah, well, now we can see it on screen. Maybe it's just the angle he's leant it over on, and Colby's just putting his shoe back on, putting the actual metal shoe on the bottom of his rider's boot. He's putting that back on. I think it could just be the angle it's leant over on, but we'll see.
There's
as he turns it around.
Dad Scott out there with him. That was very, very good riding on Colby Mason's part. He put that bike down perfectly and avoided any serious incident.
Yep, hats off to him.
Yes,
so you can, folks at home will be able to see the replay there. As yeah, Luke went into that turn sort of I don't know, it didn't seem to be the right angle to go in on, and he sort of came down very quickly.
Well, I think the bike got away from him.
Jack.
Went down on one knee and had to recover it.
Here we go for a restart in this one. 4 laps, 250s. So Colby Mason gets a good start here on the outside. Can he motor around the outside of Jack McDermott? That's the big question. 250 cc's. These are young boys, 16, 17 at the most. Jack McDermott is your leader. Colby Mason doing the chasing at this point. McDermott relishing the opportunity to run up front, down the back straight into 3 and 4. Mason giving chase, but get a little bit off the pace. Colby can't quite stay with him. And back there is Xander Smith, the X Factor, running in third, only his second or third run on a 250, so he's doing quite well. The more experienced boy, Jack McDermott, in the lead. You'll see the yellow flag this time through from Graham Headington, our start line official. Colby Mason running second, Jack McDermott in control at this stage. Down the back straight with McDermott being pursued by Mason. Smith through, holding on to third. But bring him on home, folks. Going to take this one. Jumpin' Jack takes the win. McDermott first, Mason second. And then Xander Smith will be in third. And I'll give you the time, 65.64, 65.647 in fact. 65.647, McDermott over Mason and Smith. Unfortunately, Colleen out.
Well, he might be able to borrow a bike for the rest of the meeting.
Well, it could just be the exhaust. We hope that's the case as the 500s come out for their first run of the night. Lincoln Worrell red out of 1. Kobe Zidis blue out of 2. Nathan Escott, welcome back. Nathan White out of, will he be out of 3 or is he going to handicap himself? Nathan and Brandon Coombe, because both these boys new to the world of solos. Here they are. We do have 4. Brandon Coombe over here, very good flat track rider, Graham. Just pretty new in the world of 500s, as is Nathan Escott. Oh, look at this. Aussie flags up across on the Facebook page. Very good stuff. Lincoln Worrell looking for a good start down there out of 1. Doesn't get the start he wants though, because it's KZ, Kobe Zidis, who gets the job done. Kobe leaps out. Lincoln Worrell is in second. He's the red helmeted. And then it's probably back to Brandon Comey riding up high like he'd do on a flat tracker. He's got to find a way past Lincoln Worrell. Big Link, our mate from down Roland's way towards Collie Bridgetown. Well, not Bridgetown, Collie Brunswick way. He's running in second. But Kobe Zidis really doing well. Brandon Combe, he's second. And then back to Nathan Escott. Oh, Nathan's probably happy to stay upright because he had a few challenges last time he was here at Pinjar. In the lead, 1 to go. KZ, Kobe Zidis, 1 to run. Lincoln Worrell is in second. The big boy on the big bike. And then Brandon Coombe, followed by Nathan Escott. But Kobe Zidis takes the win, does it well. 62.825, 62.825 for Kobe Zidis.
Yeah, great ride from Kobe there.
Oh, what a great start. And I think Nathan Escott, the last time he did 4 laps around Pinjar Park, he fell off the bike 4 times. And I'm not trying to make fun of him, but I mean, it's a tough sport to get to know and to become efficient at. And Nathan is fantastically improved since that first run. But I think it's, you know, like at his last meeting here was his first meeting.
Yes.
So Nathan Escott, who your 4th finisher there, doing well. But Kobe Zidis, he's going to be tough to beat tonight. 62.825, that's good time. This third heat of the 500s, or it's the third heat of the solos, but it's 500s, their second run of the night. Brian Miller, red out of 1. Brooke Lawson, he's new as well. Blue out of 2. Mickey Godbold will be white out of 3. And I've got Nigel Flatman too.
Yes, it is. Nigel, our Nigel in
he's on the outsider. Okay. I've just changed my betting odds.
He's around about 60 years old.
Ah,
It's Nigel.
don't be like that.
That's a great effort.
I reckon he's 59. Webby, you should be out there. Nigel Flatman's out there. Webby, you should be out there. Here we go. Oh, good start by Nige, but Brian Miller is in the lead. He's our expat Kiwi, a boy from, well, I think he's from Auckland, but I really need to talk to Brian about that. It's out of the Shaky Isles for sure. Nigel Flatman running second. Has run professionally in the UK for quite a while, did Nige, and then back to two of our new boys in Brooke Lawson and Mick Godbold. That'll be Lawson running in third, and Godbold going to come up on the outside. Godbold, very, very good flat tracker, and we've convinced them to give the 500s a run. Very different style of motorbike, but Brian Miller, oh come on Brian, pull it back in. He's gone high, wide and handsome, and maybe out of motor. He's Nigel Flatman starting to haul him in, but Brian, he's I don't know what he's doing out there. They sort of lost it between 3 and 4, but back on song now. So Brian Miller going to take this one, takes it quietly. Miller from Flatman. And the time on that one, 66.972, 66.972. I don't know if you were chasing any times around there, Graham.
Well, out of interest, Mark, Grant, I should say, I did do some individual flying lap times. Both Kobe Zidis and Brian Miller there, Brian Miller, the Vice President of the Speedway Club here, were circulating in around about 15.28 second laps.
That's good.
And I did, during the course of the 250cc competitive race, time Jack McDermott at 16.34, and if you go back to the non-competitive 250s that I said earlier, 16.26. So those non-competitive 250s are very, very competitive, as I suggested.
Yep, they'd be right up there. But it's different when you're in race conditions, and you have a different attitude to when you're racing, I think. So I'm going to take a punt and say this is event 30, sidecars. Mark Drew, Mick Sitar, Red out of 1, Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall out of 2, Jeff Bishop, Clinton Holmwood out of 3, and Ben Thompson, Jamie Thompson, yellow out of 4.
Just a quick recap, Grant, our winners so far: Nash Shield on 3, Bishop Winchester on 3, Liptrop Thomas on 3, and Mitchell Cornwall on 3. So they're the first round winners.
So we'll just look across the track, and that is the lineup. Drew, Mitchell, Bishop and Thompson. It's another tough assignment here for all concerned, and points at a premium: 3 for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third. See if Russell Mitchell can get 2 in a row. Oh, that's a good start by...
That was a bit raggedy, that start, and referees brought them all back.
Yep. The Reds. So, and we just need to pull up. So I think Mark Drew might be told he's got to run off 15 after that one. Oh, White on 15. Okay, White.
Jeff Bishop off 15.
White on 15. Okay.
Well, that won't please Jeff that much.
No.
But it was a ragged start, and
very ragged start, and I think, well, I don't comment about referees' decisions. I think that was a positive move.
I think it was a brilliant decision.
So Martin Vaughan just indicating to Jeff Bishop and Chromie Holwood, boys, you've got to hang back. You're in 15 metres is the penalty that's been applied. So a restart in this one. So event 30, Drew and Sitar red out of 1, Mitchell and Cornwall blue out of 2, Bishop and Holmwood, well, they were white out of 3. They're now white out of 4. And Thompson will be yellow out of 3. Restart. Good start by Drew and Sidecar, and they'll take the lead. Mitchell and Cornwall going to try and go around the outside. That doesn't work for them. We'll watch what happens down the back straight here at Pinjo Park. In this, the second heater side, well, it's actually the 5th heater sidecars for the Jeff Gittus Memorial. Mark Drew, former Australian champion, with veteran passenger on board, and that's Mick Sidecar. That's not stopping their progress, though, as Jeff Bishop looms up on the inside of the Thompsons. Out on the way, he says, and he's into 3rd place, but the chase is going to be a tough one for him off that 15-metre self-imposed handicap. But, Drew and Sidecar get a little bit sideways. Drury sorts it out, though. They're continuing to lead the Mitchell-Cornwall combination as the yellows are on display. Russell Mitchell urging the 97 bike on. Here comes Jeff Bishop and Cromie Holmwood. Might have left the run a little bit too late to do any serious damage, but your winner's going to go to Mark Drew. And Mick Sidecar takes the win over the combination of Mitchell and Cornwall, and then back to Bishop and Holmwood, who'll be spitting chips. They had enough on board to win that one, but with their false start that first time through, were handicapped. So the win to Drew, 2nd to Mitchell, 3rd to Bishop and Holmwood, 4th with the Thompsons, 66.345. Well, I won't say cat amongst the pigeons at all. We're just starting to mix it up a bit. It's going to be tough to win every race tonight.
Oh, goodness me, yes indeed. You just got to miss that start by a fraction of an inch and you're under real pressure, particularly under this sort of competition.
Yep, but as we saw with Bishop and Holmwood in that one, boy, they made up some ground, didn't they?
Well, they had sufficient clear air in front of them, I think, that gave them a bit of an advantage. And keep in mind the Thompson boys' first night back here for over 2 years.
Big assignment.
Brand new bike, brand new, essentially a brand new season for them.
So if you're following us here, folks, according to the program, this is event 33. It's sidecars. Scotty Charsley, Matt Rees, red out of 1. Jack Fuster, Jonas Sidecar, blue out of 2. Troy Craig, Fred Dillon, white out of 3. And Lee Boujos, Corey Blackman, yellow out of 4. We might be able to sort out the Craig-Dillon combination, because if they're on that 31 bike, Graham, we know exactly who they are. And I think we might have hit pay dirt.
I think you've solved the problem.
I think we might have hit pay dirt here. 31.
Well, this will be a big heat for Jack Fuster on bike 45, the Mills Drainage entry.
He's got to win it.
He came 2nd in the last heat. He'll be looking for 3 big points, but he's got some stiff competition, don't forget, including Lee Bogus, Corey Blackman.
So Jonah's off the bike. He's going to walk down and try and pick the best part of gate 2 to run from. Have a look at that.
Jonah, the son of Mick, that was passengering for Mark Drew in that last heat, who had a lovely win.
They did have a good win.
Somebody wants to know who's on the black bike, number 31. It's the old Harvey bike, as far as I know. And Harvey gave them solid bikes.
We have lovely people here at Pinjar Park who come and provide us with excellent information. It's the ex-Chad Harvey bike, the 31, and it is Troy Craig and his passenger Fred Dillon on board.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's one little problem solved for us.
Oh, we got lots of problems.
Scott Charsey also first time back for the season.
And we don't have as many problems, I don't think, as Boujos and Blackman, who are over there on the junior track with ET, engine trouble.
I'll start calling them up. Unless they can get that started fairly quickly, and I'm afraid they're going to miss out.
So, yeah, we're just missing them at the line, and they're going to go without them. So a good start, a fabulous start to Scotty Charsley and Matt Rees, but down the inside, Fuster didn't quite make the move stick. I thought he'd got past him. Scott Charsley and Matt Rees. Well, Scott, don't leave that door open for too long, because the young fella will sneak through it, and he has. Fuster and Sidecar away into the lead. And you would expect from there that they will be able to maintain that, because their form this season has been nothing short of brilliant for such a young guy, such a young combination. Scotty Charsley and Matt Rees doing the chasing, and they're not too far behind. They've got plenty of power in that bike, and just got to get it to the track and get it sorted. Craig and Dylan have exited stage left. I don't know what the issue was there. Didn't see them go off track. Might have just not been able to negotiate one of the turns, but they're not going to finish this. But Fuster and Sidecar, Checkered's waiting for them as they come onto the main straight now. Bring them on home. Good win to Sidecar aboard the bike of Jack Fuster. And second home, Scott Charsley and Matt Rees. But Jack Fuster doing that one in 67.948. 67.948. We've got time to go to the pits, Paul.
I've got Mark
Well, plenty of sound in the background in the pits there. Sounded like every noise we could conjure up in the world was down there. I think that was it Mick Sidecar we were talking to?
Certainly Mick Sidecar there, yes.
Yep.
Passenger for Mark Drew, had a win just now.
Sorry you had to lip read that at home, folks. So we just go back to that last one. Fuster and Sidecar got the points they wanted, Graham, and they needed that win. Scotty Charsley, Matt Rees. Is that 2 seconds for the Charsley-Rees combination?
It is indeed, yes, you're correct.
Okay, so they're hanging in there. So let's go through this one. Steve McMurray, Jason Williams, red out of 1. Rock Bryan, Braden Wells, blue out of 2. Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, white out of 3. Now this will be a yellow out of 4. Will be the combination of Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft. So whether they're going to come up to the gate or whether they're going to handicap, not sure.
No, I think they're going to compete off the line.
Yep. And I reckon, going back to that first round of heats now, I've got the problem solved. That first round of heats, in fact, in that second one, it was the Ewell-Heft combination. I might talk you through that after this, because it's a little bit confusing. It was confusing for us, folks. I do apologise.
Well, we've got Rock Bryan down there. We've got Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester. We've got the Ewell-Heft combination, and one further one down here, which looks like McMurray and...
This is McMurray here, and this will be the Ewell-Heft coming up.
Okay.
Up on the outside. They're very similar colours, which helps us call them. So, bang! And both onto the infield. So, I think we might have reds in this one. We do have reds. So, unfortunately, at the start there, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester came together with Rock Bryan and Braden Wills. So, I'm imagining all back in.
Well, I hope there's no damage done there on the Bishop bike. He's come to a standstill.
So, here's Rock Bryan and... Braden, well, we reckon it's Braden Wells.
It looks like
I think it's got the Wellsy gear underneath, and I think they're okay.
Well, rock's circulating and the engine's running on that one, and Daniel's up and away again. Well done, that's terrific stuff.
Yeah, so just these combination here on the outside of Kendall and Ewell and Courtney Heft. They were in fact in our second sidecar heat of the night, which was written down as Craig and Dillon. It wasn't Craig and Dillon, it was Ewell and Heft in what was effectively heat 60, and it's just adds to the intrigue.
Right. Well, we'll see if they can get off the line properly this time.
Yep.
Devil of a job to get these things started.
Yeah, and going
all
straight.
That power going through there. 3 wheels, 2 people. A real handful. Just get the centre of gravity wrong and you're going one way or t'other, and there's always somebody in your road.
That's the thrill of it. Here we go. Oh, and stalled it on the line did Rock Bryan and David Mercer. Well, I don't think there'll be anyone forgiven in this occasion, and Bryan and Mercer got the chase down to do. So let's go through them. In your leader is Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, and then we've got the McMurray bike, McMurray and Williams, and then the Ewell Heft combination, and very similar in colours. And boy, McMurray and Williams keep on sliding right across in front of that Ewell Heft combination, and I don't know, giving me all sorts of heart attacks. But up front, well and truly in command, former state title holder with 1 lap to run, and that's young Bishop, Daniel Bishop, with his passenger Justin Winchester. Running second is the McMurray-Williams combination, and then back to Heft and Ewell. And Heft and Ewell going to come up and challenge. So 68.295, perhaps not an accurate reflection, but taking the win was certainly Daniel Bishop. Second home was the McMurray-Williams combination. Heft and Ewell coming home in third. Rock Bryan, well, penalised himself hugely by missing the start. He's finished fourth. 68.295. I think I might have been a bit slow on the stopwatch there, folks. I don't think he was about to set a record. That's my story. Sidecars next heat. Red out of 1, Darren Nash, Ash Shield. Blue out of 2, Ryan and Adam Vanderlinde, who didn't start last time. And maybe...
I think he's just scratching for the evening, but look at that.
And Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas, they're yellow out of 4. Reese and Jesse, that's... where are they? They're... just looking at the helmet colours here.
Well, that's Reese Liptop out in red by the look of it, followed by Cruz on Russell Mitchell's bike, and then Nash and Shield having a practice start over there in the back straight.
So, okay, I'm not going to say this heat doesn't make sense to me, because it doesn't. It should be Nash and Shield with the red, but it's Liptrot and Thomas who have got the red on. And Cruz and Mercer weren't listed to start in this one, but we'll put them in that grey spot, Cruz and Mercer.
Well, it's certainly not like the program listing.
No, so we've got 3. We haven't got the Vanderlindens. We've got Liptrot and Thomas down low. We've got Nash and Shield up high. Great start, though, by Darren Nash and Ash Shield. You watch them sweep around the outside, and they have into the lead. Ash Shield has a little bit of a look at where they've got to go down the back straight. Go down that way, Darren, into the lead, and he's done that oh so superbly and leads this one from Liptrot and Thomas. Cruz and Mercer back there in third place rather, and they're giving Liptrot and Thomas a little bit of hurry up. Liptrot and Thomas, no answer for the Nash Shield combination up front, and they've got their hands full holding off Cruz, who as you say, Graham, I think he's out of Brisbane, out of Queensland, but
Yes, he is.
might be domiciled over here, might be living in Western Australia at the moment as the yellows come out for Darren Nash and Ash Shield. Still plenty of smoke out of the back of this 6 bike of Liptrot and Thomas as we rumble down the back straight with Darren Nash and Ash Shield doing as they do so well through 3 and 4 onto the Peter Mueller main straight. Going to take win number 2, Nash and Shield. So Nash and Shield from Liptrot and Thomas, Cruz and Mercer home in 3rd. Fandelin and Fandelin didn't start, and just to clarify your program, in fact it was Liptrot and Thomas who started with the red helmet and not Nash and Shield, but hey, that's how it was written down. 65-774, 65-774 as we go to the pits.
I'm here with Daniel Bishop, one of the earlier heat winners. Impressive run, you were never headed after the first lap.
Yeah, no, we're just going out there and trying to do what we can, you know, make up for the state title. But yeah, we're feeling good at the moment. We had a bit of a mishap off the start line, but we recuperated and yeah, we went out there and just rode our own ride.
Fantastic run earlier. Let's hope it keeps going during the finals.
Yeah, that's it. We'll give it our best crack.
Daniel Bishop in the pits there with Paul Persick. So 2 lines here for the flat trackers. 6 in the first row, 6 in the second row. Stephen Forrest, Mick Godbold, Jai Davis, Brooke Lawson, Troy Ralph, Brian Watson, Ian Moylan, Raymond Coleman, Brandon Coombe and James Keane ready to go. Flat trackers 4 laps. Well, I don't know what we're waiting on. The red flag's up for some issue. The red flag is up. Whoa! It's probably not the way to start a race. There might be a rerun on this one.
I think we'll have to bring them all back.
Yeah. Run them again. So reds are on. Reds are on. I don't know what happened there. We were holding the red flag up for the start. And we're going to rerun this one.
I think Graham Headington was waiting for one other rider to come from the pits, but the pit gate was closed and he was stranded out in the middle of the track.
So 2 rows for the flat trackers, and I think through the night, Graham, they cycle through these positions, so it's not like a permanent second row. You'll get a few runs at the front, a few runs at the back.
Each of these riders have breastplates on and numbers on the back, so you can follow their progress through those numbers rather than the bike numbers.
Well, it's a great start there. I think that's Brian Watson who's leapt out in front, although the 5 belongs to Mickey Godbold, but I haven't seen Mick ride with the green, but it could be Big Mick up front.
That's Mick in 3rd, I think you'll find.
It's, yeah, because that boy up front, with, I reckon it's Brian Watson, but I might be massively wrong. So he's riding very well, whoever it is. We've got one down, he's up again, he's on his feet as we continue to ride here. So I'd say that's Brandon Coombe with a 9, that's Mickey Godbold with the 7. They're running 2nd and 3rd, so that's, I think, Brandon Coombe up into 2nd, Godbold in 3rd as the yellows come out. I'm giving this one to Brian Watson at this stage because the number isn't reflective of Mick Godbold whatsoever. But, call it across the line as we see it. Brian Watson going to take the win. Watson from Coombe and Godbold is what I'll do.
I think you've got your numbers on your...
They might be somewhere else.
On your phone?
Oh, on my phone. The number is on my phone. How did that happen?
Yes, I'm not yet convinced that was Brian Watson up the front yet, but I'll be convinced if you can...
You know, we'll just need to go through those placings for you folks. We'll try and do that. So we got a 2nd, which is definitely Brandon Coombe. We got a 3rd, which is definitely Mickey Godbold. We're trying to identify first place for you because the numbers don't reflect the rider and the time, 74.86 as we go to the pits.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Rocky Bryden, the rider of bike number 38. You're working peculiarly with the rear of the bike. What's going on there?
Just maintenance, mate. Chain lube, spin the tyre, a bit of fuel in the tank.
Is the surface a bit loose out there in some corners?
It's heavy. You don't want to be stuck behind a bike too close. You get fooled in and you don't go anywhere.
Well, let's hope it turns out better for you in the later heats and in the B final.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to get better. 2 lasts is not good. Thanks, mate.
I've got a sense of humour, has Rock Bryan. 2 lasts are not good, but better to finish than not finish at all. As we're going to take a little commercial break here because we're with Front Row Screens.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
We welcome you back to Pinjar Park Speedway for the Jeff Gittus Sidecar Memorial of 2021. We've got some track prep going in order for the second half of the main event races and the finals coming up a little bit later tonight. Right next to me is the number 97 bike, of course, led by David Mercer. They're working particularly hard at the rear because some of the parts of the surface, according to them, were quite heavy, and that's why they're working on the tyres and raising the pressures up a little bit. They're working very hard to make sure that the results are a bit better in the second round of heats compared to the first round of heats. Grant and Graham, it's been an impressive meeting by most of the riders so far in very good conditions here tonight. How do you see the rest of the Jeff Gittus Memorial playing out?
Well, we're just having a look at the points, Paul, and it's still pretty tight. We've only got the 2 teams that have won both their heats, and that's the Nash Shield team, probably doing as expected, have won both heats. And then Daniel Bishop, I think as he mentioned to you in the interview you did with him in the pits there, Paul, that he was a bit disappointed with his showing at the state title, and he's come out with passenger Justin Winchester, and they've won their 2 as well, Graham. But a few other people in the spotlight there as well.
Well, Gittus Sidecar, they have a second and a third. They're on 5 points. Liptrop Thomas won their first. It came second in the last. They've got electrical issues, it would seem. I'm sure they'll get on top of that. So they're on 5 points. Also on 5 was Mitchell Cornwall. Russell Mitchell had a wonderful win in the first heat and the second in the second ride. So they're on 5. So they're your leading point scorers. Nash Shield on 6, Gittus Sidecar on 5, Liptrop Thomas on 5, Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester on 6, and Mitchell Cornwall on 5. So they're your leading point scorers thus far.
But as you mentioned, Paul, and I don't know if you're still online with us down in the pits there, most of the guys, from what we can see, and obviously we have some advantage because we can see the cameras operating in the pits, but most of the guys doing some work.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're seeing on the bike led by David Mercer, they're working particularly hard on the rear tyre because obviously the rear tyre can get a bit heavy under these conditions. During the pre-race programs, when the sidecars were able to get their demo laps in, they said that the track was a little bit slippery. It was like a puddle of water being on one of the corners, and one of them actually slid away and hit the air vents. But luckily, the track is all slicked out a little bit. Riders are able to get some more even lines in and out of the corners and plenty of speed on the straight, especially with the likes of Bishop and Shield field getting some really good laps in. So I still think the track is going to be very good for the B and the A finals a little bit later on. Still a few bits they need to smoothen out, but I reckon by the A final and the B final, it's going to be a very quick track.
Yeah, it's going to be quick. I think that's perfect assessment. Lovely crowd in. Nice to have you in, and very privileged, in fact, to have Paul in the pits tonight with us, who can give us some insight and bring some of those rider interviews to us, because it just brings us up so much more close and personal with those guys involved. Now, we have done a little bit of research here with the flat trackers. That was Brooke Lawson on bike 5. Brooke Lawson on bike 5. So we can give the win to Brooke Lawson, and his time 74.864. 74.864. Bit of research, Graham. It never goes astray.
And that's quite an old bike, and in fact, because of its age, it's probably got a nice amount of torque out of the engine, and that's perfectly suited to speedway racing. So rather than spin the wheel up, it's a low bike, not a lot of suspension, a torquey little engine, and away he goes.
And I just want to go back to what Paul was saying about the track, and we observe at the moment water truck going around, but not putting any water truck out there, just trying to, if you like, consolidate the track. You've got the tractor with trailing, scraper, whatever you want to describe that as, just redistributing a little bit of the dirt. But it certainly has been pretty drivey. But best time of the night, I'm just going to try and chase down the best sidecar time of the night. If my timing was right, it's 63.65 to Nash and Shield in their first heat out. Everything else has been sort of up towards 66 though, so that was a particularly quick heat, and you might remember that he had a real handful with Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood in that heat.
Yes.
But that's a pretty quick time, but it does look pretty drivey. We were talking earlier, you and I, about the rain that had happened earlier in the week, and that would have really set the track up for tonight. We didn't have to sort of pour water into it through the week. Mother Nature did the job, but Justin Leach and his crew here now working to bring it to the best it possibly can be to help all of our competitors.
Yes, indeed. They seem to be able to ride a couple of different lines here tonight. Some of them were saying it was a little bit tight on the state championship night, and they had virtually one line to ride, and if you got off, you were out of competition. But this seems a little bit different sit-up today, and they're adjusting bikes, as we can see on the front row screens monitor here. Changing tyres, changing tyre pressures, the length of the wheelbase they can change by adding a link or two into the chain, and change the handling characteristics of the bike.
You'd have to be able to do
that, Graham. Sorry to cut you in, guys.
You're good.
We touched upon the rear setup of the car, what they're working on. I'm here with Jonas Sita, who's replacing Stephen McQueen in the number 45 sidecar. A lot of hard work at the rear.
Oh, yeah. We had a good setup out there, but you can obviously make it better. So we're just going to link it up a little bit, try and get a bit smoother.
Because the track is starting to slick it itself out. Do you think it may be the right setup decision?
We won't know till we test it, but we think we're going the right direction.
What sort of setup were you looking at in the last of the heats?
Just something a bit snappy, just trying to bolt it off the corners. But we found it a bit unsteady in the entry, so we're trying to fix that.
Did the exit of the corners really make up for the understeer at the entry of the corners?
I think it balanced it out, but it didn't really push us forward.
Well, let's hope it all goes well in the last of the heats and in the finals.
Thank you, Paul.
Father and son, we've had Mick Sitar, now we've had Jonas Sitar. Bragging rights, the kitchen table tomorrow morning. See how we go. They're both in the mix, aren't they? Because Mark Drew has had a win. What are Mark Drew's points on your sheet there, Graham?
Mark Drew...
don't think his first heat wasn't all that special.
No, he had a third in the first heat and a win in the second.
4 points.
He's on 4 points. He's right up there.
Yeah, so 5 rounds, and we've had 2 rounds for everybody. And at this stage, Nash and Shield with 6, and Bishop and Winchester with 6. Then we go back to Fuster and Sitar with 5, Liptrot and Thomas with 5, Mitchell and Cornwall with 5. So they're the ones who are leading the charge at this point. Jeff Bishop, genuine threat, he's back on 4. Mark Drew, as we mentioned, after a win in his second heat, he had a poor first heat, but he's back on 4. As Scotty Charsley, I haven't seen Scott race this season here at Pinjar. Good to see Scott back. Great supporter of the world of sidecar racing. And Matt Reese, his passenger, 2 seconds. That's certainly a very powerful bike, but tends to push a bit for him, a bit of a beast, as we bring the boys out for the 250s. And we'll see if we have handicapped them, or see if they're going off the gate again.
Well, these are the demonstration guys, I think.
Yes, they're just, it's Mitchell and Colby. All right.
I'm going to take another flying lap from these guys and compare it with the competitive 250s in a moment.
So, not a race, really just an opportunity for these guys to put some time together on the track. Well, here I say it's not a race, and down you go when you try too hard. So Colby Mason will get up and lick his wounds. He can keep on going if he wants to.
Lincoln Metcalf.
Lincoln Metcalf, rather. Yep, Lincoln Metcalf pushed it a little bit too hard. And, well, it's like training for footy. You've got to train hard, but probably not too hard and do damage to yourself. It's not a race at all. We've got the clock going on them. I'll let you know that they're going to do 4 laps. So we won't even use the word winner or second place or anything like that. Mitchell McDermott just having a few training laps on board the 250. Yep, so while we do that, we've got opportunity for the boys to come out for the next one. We can go back to the pits with an update. Paul?
Thank you very much, guys. I'm by the bike of Darren Nash and Ash Shield. The crew is just putting a little bit more fuel in. Early on in the night, the riders experienced a couple of overheating problems that sort of slowed down their pace a little bit. They came into the second heat shoveling lots of smoke at the rear of the bike, but the problems now look to have gone. They should be ready for the final few heats and the main events, the B finals and the A finals coming up later tonight. But yeah, they'll have a strong look at that motor before the next race.
Yep, and pretty important for them because they're on a maximum at the moment, and they pride themselves on what they're able to do. So I don't know if it's going to be a handicap as we discussed. Oh, it could be because Colleen didn't finish that first heat, did he? So has he got the 54 bike? Is that the 54 that Lukey normally rides? Well, it's got 54 on the front. So
like it.
If they've had muffler problems, they've solved it. So Jack McDermott's, Jack just wants to know where I'm starting from. Where am I starting from? I won that last race. Where should I be?
I don't think Jack should be on scratch.
No, if it's a handicap, he's supposed to be at the rear of the field.
Don't quite know what's happening here.
Okay, we'll refrain from saying anything further because it hasn't worked out the way it's supposed to have worked out. Luke Colleen bounces away on the 54, but he's beaten out of the start there by Jack McDermott. Finally gets the 54 wound up, Lackey Band tight, and charges to the lead. Gets past Jack McDermott. This is Luke Colleen, your leader in this 250. I won't call it a handicap. I'll call it a strange scratch race because your two most experienced boys started off the gate. So Colleen continues to lead over McDermott, and then we go back to Xander Smith, and it'll be Colby. Is it Colby Mason? Yes, Colby's way back there with Xander Smith. They've got a race of their own going on. Well, I don't know if this is a yellow flag coming out. Graham's got the red flag. No, I'll put that away. I'll get the checkered out. Check comes out. Try the next one. Try the next one. Here comes Luke Colleen. He's going to win it. Luke Colleen first. Jack McDermott second. Most confusing. Colby Mason in third. Colleen, McDermott, Mason, Smith. Sound like a team of lawyers. 64-4-1-6. 64-4-1-6.
Well, I'm a bit confused with all of that, but nonetheless, Luke Colleen on a flying lap did a 15.80.
Okay.
Kobe Zaitis on the 500 did a 15.28. So there's not a lot in it.
You're cooking with gas there, and if you had 4 15s, it's a 60. But we're yet to break the 60. Talking to the wrong person. If you want reliability, stuff up the rest of the night now. Here we go. Bring these boys up to the line. The 500s, Nathan Eastcott red out of 1, Brandon Coombe blue out of 2. I don't know if we got someone out of 3. Have we? Is that Flatty? Is that Nigel?
That's Nigel on
Nige.
the white helmet.
So I'm missing someone. Brian Miller, maybe. I am missing Brian Miller.
Brian seemed to have engine problems
He
on
did.
that last outing, so maybe he's got some issues.
He's got a handicap. He's got a handicap. He's way down there.
Okay.
We couldn't see him up against the fence. We'll put him back in. Ready to go. Good start. Like Nigel Flatman's had a few too many good meals, but he's in the lead. Brian Miller's given himself a handicap. What's he going to do? Is he going to go inside or outside? He's gone inside one of our new boys and dropping the model at the back there. Who was that? Who committed that sin? Your leader, Nigel Flatman. I reckon the Nigel will be hard to track down. That might have been Nathan Eastcott dropping the model. Nige is in the lead. Miller is running second. Can he catch him? Excitement plus. It's Brandon Coombe back in third. Then Nathan. Where did Nathan go? Oh, he's on the infield. Okay, Nathan Eastcott's gone to the infield. Might have dropped the model again. I missed that. Here's the challenge up the front. Nigel Flatman. Just got to stay down low, Nigel. Down low. Because Miller's going to try and get round your outside. If you can stay down low, you've got to make him work hard. Nigel Flatman on the loose. On the flat. Peter Mueller. No. Peter Mueller main straight. No, Nigel Flatman wins it. Well done, Nige. Flatman from Miller and Coombe, 67.194.
Well, that was a bit unfortunate. Brian Miller was balked a little bit by the fallen roller rider in turn 2 there, and he just had to roll off the throttle and back on again, and he gave Nigel another 5 or 6 metres, and he couldn't quite chase him down.
No, he couldn't. Speedway is Speedway. As we roll on with the next 500 cc's, the KZ, Kobe Zaitis, red out of 1, Lincoln Worrell. I won't call him the missing link. Lincoln Worrell, blue out of 2, Brooke Lawson, who won that flat tracker before. He's white out of 3, Mickey Godbold, yellow out of 4. Lawson, yellow out of 3, Godbold, yellow out of 4. Yes, see... Is that the old Bishop bike, the 81?
It is.
The Jason Bishop bike?
Jason Bishop's bike.
So we've got a handicap race here. We've got one way at the back here, and that's Kobe Zaitis. So this is good stuff, folks. This is real entertainment. So I think your leader is Mick Godbold. Here's Lincoln Worrell. He's made his way around the outside of Brooke Lawson. Lawson is back to 4th. And here's Kobe Zaitis. He's going to squeeze past. Was there a fence there, or was he in the crowd? Kobe Zaitis, he's gone so wide. Lincoln Worrell's back into second. Mick Godbold's up front thinking, were there other people in the race? I don't know. Mickey Godbold continues to lead halfway home. Godbold, Worrell, Zaitis. Oh, Kobe Zaitis has gone right down low now to try and get past Mick Godbold. Might be able to do it. Mick's still in the lead. Zaitis around the outside this time. Mix them and match them, Kobe. Into the front, 1 to run. Beautiful stuff. Loving it. Mick Godbold second. Lincoln Worrell taking a little bit more conservatively than his old pal Kobe Zaitis. But here's Lincoln. Sees his chance down the back straight as Zaitis starts to get away in the lead. He's going to win this one. His second win of the night. Drifts across the line. Takes the win. Godbold second, Worrell third. Did you like that one, Graham?
Well, Speedway of old.
Yeah.
Brings back Claremont Speedway days in the handicap racing. Well,
That was fantastic.
Terrific stuff.
Loved it all the way in 70.902. 70.902 for your friend and mine, Kobe Zidis. So was that his brother who was here up in the com box before and having a yarn to you?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Jared was
Yeah,
up
Jared.
there having a little chat. Yes.
Yep. So, sidecars now. We should be able to move to the next heat. This is round 3. I'll call them as per the program. Red out of 1, Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas. This is event, well, it's heat 38 if you're following in the program. Reese Liptrot and Jesse Thomas. Red out of 1, Mark Drew, Mick Seatar. Blue out of 2, Scott Charsley, Matty Reese. White out of 3, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester. Yellow out of 4. This is an important race for all of these people. Liptrot and Thomas with 5 points. Drew and Seatar with 4. Charsley and Reese with 4. And Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester unbeaten so far. So they got 6. Some of these boys are right up there in the points.
What you were reading out and what's on the track don't seem to line up here, Grant, for some reason.
I got Drew there. Okay.
What are we?
I'm just, all I can do is go with the program.
Yes,
I
indeed.
don't have any other information.
Well, there's
this looks like
Darren Nash out there.
Yeah.
There's Mark Drew. It looks like Rock Ryan, is it? And
well, is it the McMurray bike?
It might be. Yes, it is, I think.
And also the Ewell and Heft bike. So
I don't know what the heck this is.
No, and all I can say, folks, is I can only read what's in the program. So it's not as listed at all. So 23, 70, 79 and 78.
Well, there we go.
Okay, we'll go with another one entirely. We'll go with it. Yeah, we've got to turn the page over. Go with another one. Nash and Shield, Drew and Seatar. Well, we still haven't got. Okay, doesn't matter. Lights are on, and Nash and Shield had to shove Drew and Seatar out of the way, and they did that superbly. Mark Drew won't like that. He's going to come back at Nashy. Darren Nash is your leader. Darren Nash from Mick Seatar. Then back to Charsley and the 79, who'll be Ewell and Heft, I reckon. Nash continues to lead this one. I'm going to go and look for another program. Nash and Shield, your leader, down the Peter Mueller main straight here at Pinjar. Halfway home in this one. It was a great old start. I'm going to describe that to a few of you who might have missed it. The red helmeted Shield and Nash combination continue to lead down the main straight again. The chase has not been given up by Drew and Seatar, but Charsley and Reese well and truly off the pace, and I think that's the Ewell Heft combination running in fourth as we come up to the start-finish line for the final time. Taking the win, the 23, Seatar, Mick Seatar on board the Mark Drew bike running home in second, and then Scott Charsley, and then the 78 bike, was it? So let's have a look at this and see if we can sort these guys out for everybody listening. So that one, first home was Darren Nash and Nash Shield. Second home, Mark Drew and Mick Seatar. Third home, Scott Charsley, Matty Reese. Fourth home we'll give to the Ewell and Heft combination, and we'll give you a time of 66.51 as we go to the pits.
Thanks, Grant. I'm here with Jeff Bishop. You've had a handful out there tonight.
Yeah, it's been a little bit tough. I haven't been on my game. I got penalised for a start on one heat, which it's neither here nor there. We had to run from 15 metres. We showed we had some pace and we come back pretty good. But we've dealt the hand we've got. We'll just have to go out and do better next time.
With what you've got with the motor and the rear tyre, it seemed to be making up a lot of ground.
Yeah, no, it's a good combination. Mick from Road and Race has built me a really good engine, and me and Cramey are getting to know each other, sort of getting it together. But I'm a bit old in the tooth, mate, so, you know, I can't move like I used to.
Well, let's hope it all goes well in the final 2 races. All the best.
No worries, thank you.
Jeff Bishop in the pits there. Modest as always. Got a better beard than his son. Got a way better beard. But he's had a bit longer to grow it. So I think we have finally solved the problem. We've got another sheet that has been given to us. So that heat 38, in fact, the 4th place was Stephen McMurray and Jason Williams. So it was Nash and Shield from Drew and Sidecar, from Charles Lee and Reese, and then McMurray and Williams. So if you've got a pull-out sheet in your program, folks, that's the one you need to go with from now on. So we'll call this one out. Van der Linden and Van der Linden aren't there. So Rock Bryan is there. We're about ready to go. Rock Bryan is going to be up against, this is Cruz, who's going to be leading this one.
Oh, I think that's Russell Mitchell out in front.
Is it Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall?
Yes.
It is Mitchell and Cornwall, is it? Yes, it is. You're right. So it's they're both 97 bikes, but we can certainly still tell the style of Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall. Good pick-up, Graham. So they're leading, and they're grabbing handfuls of points as well. So Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall from Rock Bryan and Braden Wells, and then back to the Craig Dillon combination. Another lap to go for Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall, and doing it oh so well. And Cornwall just is such a superb passenger, just tucks in, gets right down low, and boy, you wouldn't even know he was there half the time as Russell Mitchell comes up to grab this win, does it superbly. Rock Bryan be a little bit happier with that 2nd place. It's better than last, as he said he was getting all night. And then Craig and Dillon home in 3rd. So Mitchell Cornwall take the win from Bryan and Mercer. Craig and Dillon home in 3rd. Give you the time, 66.704 as we go pit side.
Thanks, gents. I'm here with Stephen McQueen, who'd ideally like to be out there on the track. Tell us why you're not out there, if we may.
Yeah, still recovering from an injury I sustained in early December. Just a little bit longer with the recovery, and hopefully should be back out there.
You're really determined to be back out there, but how do you feel about Jonas Cedar's job filling in for you tonight?
I think I might have lost my job somehow. Like, he's doing a really good job on the back. Him and Jack seem to be gelling really well, which is really good to see. And yeah, there's some new guys and girls coming along, which yeah, it's really good to jump in and help out with.
Hope to see you back out on track very soon, mate. All the best.
Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to it. Got the itch.
I hope you're just not itching away at that wound, Steve McQueen, because we miss you, my friend. Excellent passenger, but just a wonderful ambassador for the sport. I'm sure you'll work it out. As this one comes out, let's go through them. Red out of 1, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester. Blue out of 2, Reese Liptrot, Jesse Thomas. White out of 3, Jack Fuster, Jonas Sidecar. Yellow out of 4, Jeff Bishop, Clinton Holmwood. Another great lineup. Daniel Bishop, as we mentioned, on a maximum at the moment. Liptrot and Thomas on 5. Fuster, Sidecar on 5. Bishop, Clinton Holmwood, are they on 5 as well? Oh, okay. This could almost be the final. It's such a wonderful field. Oh, Liptrot and Thomas missed that start big time, but I tell you who did not miss the start was Jeff Bishop and Cramey Holmwood, and they're battling up front with the younger of the Bishops, and that's Daniel. And here comes into the mix Jack Fuster and Jonas Sidecar. So we'll see if father and son can battle this one out, because that's what they're doing at the moment. They've got a fistful of points up front. Daniel and Justin. Daniel Bishop leading at this stage from his father, Jeff Bishop. Cramey Holmwood doing the passenger's job. Back in 3rd, Jack Fuster and Jonas Sidecar. They missed the start entirely. And talking about missing the start, Reese Liptrot and Jesse Thomas. This will be a real disaster for them. No points coming up by the looks of it. 1 lap to run. Daniel Bishop getting the job done oh so well. A little bit of a miscue onto the back straight. No harm done. Into 3 and 4. Daniel Bishop looks like he's going to take this one out from the old man, the bearded wonder, but taking the win, Daniel Bishop. And Justin Winchester from father and son, first and second. High fives all around. So that was a great run by the Bishops. Daniel Bishop getting out of that gate superbly, took it from the old man who came out of 4. Reese Liptrot back in 4th place, handing 3rd to Jack Fuster and Jonas Sitar. First, Bishop and Winchester. Second, Bishop and Holmwood. 3rd, Fuster and Sitar. 4th, Liptrot and Thomas, 67.219. Whoa, a lot of points on offer there for some boys, and so I'll tell you what, they're keeping it alive. Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, 3 in a row.
Yes, indeed.
So they're in state title form, which they won the state title the year before last. Handed the trophy back to Nash and Shield this year, but as young Bishop, that's the younger of the Bishops, Daniel said in the pits earlier, he was very disappointed with his form in this year's title run, so shouldn't be too disappointed with the program tonight as far as the 81 bike is concerned. Or has he got 82 on the bike? He might have 82.
82 for Daniel,
82 on the
for
bike.
Jeff.
Yep. 82 on the bike tonight in the Jeff Gittus Memorial.
As you pointed out, Grant, Jack Fuster missed the start, but boy, oh boy, Reese Liptrop stalled it on the line, got it cracking again, and away he went, and he showed some power of speed, but too little too late, no points, and that's going to really make it difficult for him to get into the B final or the A final for that matter.
Most of these bikes handle so well and they run so well that the slightest error can be so costly.
Absolutely.
Let's go through this field for Heat 41. The Thompson brothers, Ben and Jamie, red out of 1. Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman, blue out of 2. So this will be the bike of, what's their name? Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft out of 3. And on the outside here, to making a little bit of a rough start in the yellow were Cruz McVie and David Mercer. But Bujos and Blackman, they've escaped with this week's rent. They're that far ahead, the landlord won't even turn up. They really got away, Lee Bujos and Corey Blackman. Settling into stride now is the McVie-Mercer combination, and then back to the Thompsons, who are finding their feet after a couple of years of not running. Well, Ben especially, on to the infield. I shouldn't have said anything too soon.
Commentator's curse.
It is the commentator's curse that moves Ewell and Heft up into 3rd place. As we bring the yellows out for Bujos and Blackman. So go down the main straight here, the Peter Mueller main straight at Pinjar Park. Lee Bujos going to grab 3 points out of this one, and so he's going to put his name into the mix, because that's what you've got to do. You've just got to keep on finishing, grabbing points away, and he's done that. And that Ewell-Heft combination would have to be happy with their progress. I've never seen them here before, and they're riding pretty well. So a DNF, unfortunately, to the Thompson brothers, but the win to Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman. Second home was Cruz McVie, David Mercer. Third home was Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft. Kenlyn Ewell, Courtney Heft. And the time, Pinjar Park time, 68.911. 68.911. As the flat trackers come out, I'll call you through the field. Ian Moylan, Brian Watson, Troy Ralph, Jai Davis and Stephen Forrest should be on the front line. Row 2, Brooke Lawson, who was the winner of the first heat, with your friend and mine, Raymond Coleman, Mick Godbold, James Keane and Brandon Coombe on row 2. So first, second and third are out of row 2 this time round. It's Ready to go. Get up the track, Graham. Look at that beautiful line. Beautiful line by Brooke Lawson. He's come from the second row. He's up into second already, and he'll wind that bike up. You reckon it's a little bit old, but he's a good rider upon it. And into the lead now. He's come from the back row, grabbed it away. He's got 7 on the bike, 5 on the back. So that doesn't make any difference to... Oh, got 1 down, and he'll be up and about and okay, we hope. He's all right, takes it off the track. He's good to go. Halfway home, your leader, Brooke Lawson, from the 2 bike.
Brian Watson, is it?
Is it Big Brian? Is he running in second? He's supposed to be at number 10 on his back, but if it's Brian Watson, but we've got the yellows out. We'll try and follow him through again. Lawson from the 72. Well, it does look like Watson to me. I'm going with you on that one, Graham. And then back to the 8 bike. Could be Troy Ralph. It's listed as Troy Ralph. And I don't think we've got Coombe or... we got Coombe or Godbold in the top 3.
No, I think they were 4th and 5th respectively.
So a good win there again to Lawson, and we'll give you his time, 75.308.
Just 1960.
It's a 1964 BSA, the one that Brooke Lawson's on, the one that won that event. I reckon it's older than you, ma'am. Thank you for bringing that round. Appreciate that. Brooke Lawson, 1964 Beezer. How about that?
Yes,
500 cc's. It's got a bit of grunt, hasn't it?
I did suggest it was an older bike. Different suspension, different engine, 500 cc. Plenty of grunt out of it, and he's doing very well, riding it well.
Goes like the clappers. Well...
Can I just give you a little update on the sidecars after
Please.
Heat 3 or round 3? Nash and Shield on maximum 9, as is Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester on 9. Puster and Seater on 6. Drew and Seater on 6. Jeff Bishop and Cramie Holmwood on 6. And Mitchell Cornwall on 8, just 1 point adrift of the Nash and Bishop combination.
Okay.
So it's pretty tight at the top.
Yep. Okay, we're going to take a little commercial break to help us pay our fees tonight. Over to you, boys.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
So we've got some odds on whether the water truck was going to put the water out. It has. Just before we were just suggesting it was going to be a match race, but water truck has decided to put some water on that inside line. It's trying to keep... Well, you reckon we're trying to keep moisture in the track? I would have thought there'd be plenty of moisture in the track. Maybe just through the turns there where it might be Is it going to rubber up at all?
Job to tell. These guys are experts. I'll leave it to them.
Yep, they're doing the job. So doing it well. So, but as you rightly pointed out before we went to that ad break, Graham, it's tight at the top of the heap with 3 wins apiece to Darren Nash and Ash Shield, and the younger of the Bishops, and that's Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester. They are yet to meet tonight. They've both won their 3 heats. Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall have won 2 and finished second in the other. So they've really distinguished themselves. Yeah, we can. We're just cleaning that up, and I reckon we can get some information out of the pits, Paul. How are you going?
Yeah, thank you very much. I was just asking you, going back to the box, Nash and Shield and also the Bishop and Winchester combination, equal with 3 wins, as you mentioned. It's very tight at the top. I reckon any one of those riders can win it out. It's going to be very likely to, determine out of those winners who's going to take out this Jeff Gittus Memorial. I'd have to say the Nash-Shield combination, despite their overheating problems that they had earlier on.
Yeah, they've got form. They came into this meeting the Western Australian champions, having won all their qualifying heats in the WA title, and then went out and won that final. We've got a couple that we'll add into the mix for you, Paul, and I know you've spoken to a couple of them already, but some of those who are very prominent but still chasing points, Liptrot and Thomas. I know you've spoken to Reese and you've spoken to Jesse there. But Mark Drew and Mick Sitar, you had a word to the passenger Mick Sitar. They're certainly very competent and very good peddlers. And the other ones that I'd be wanting to have a yarn with, I think you have spoken to both the Bishops as well. So it'd be good if you could. I don't know what your chances are, just to grab a word with Russell Mitchell, because Russell's pretty tuned into this whole world of Speedway.
Yeah, I'll get a word with him hopefully during later on in this little intermission. But what our viewers are seeing here at the moment is how the crews put fuel into the fuel tank of this sidecar. What they use is a little fuel funnel to make sure that there's no fuel spills whatsoever when the fuel is put into the rear fuel tank of this sidecar, to make sure that it's all topped up and ready for all the races. So they're always checking everything very cautiously indeed.
If you've got a chance, and I don't know how close you are to that camera, Paul, but it looks like you're with the Ewell and Heft team, and I'm just wondering if you could grab a word with either of them, because they're not riders and passengers who we're familiar with here at Pinjar. So here we go. We'll just come back up here to the combox, and it'd be good to have a word with those people, because we haven't seen them before, Graham. I haven't even heard of them. I try and keep myself on top of the world of Speedway, but Kenyon Newell and Courtney Heft aren't individuals known to me. It's good to see that the 31 bike, which was formerly owned by Chad Harvey, was picked up by Troy Craig and Fred Dillon, but it'd be nice to, if Paul's able to get a hold of that Ewell and Heft team and just have a bit of a chat with them to introduce themselves to Pinjar Park.
I'm here at the moment, guys, by the wrist switch, the power switch as it's known in the business. Of course, you have to use your hand and your wrist. For those that are not familiar at home or just getting used to a sidecar, the wrist switch here is all about planting the power down or slowing down. If you push in the direction that I'm doing it in, if you're pushing it forward, you're getting power in. If you're pushing it back, you're slowing down the sidecar. So for those at home that are getting into a sidecar, make sure you're pushing it hard, because if you're not pushing it hard enough, you're going to get less power into the engine.
I reckon some of those boys want to push a lot harder, but they just can't turn the wrist around quickly enough. Have you got that assignment lined up, Paul? I know I'm putting you under a lot of pressure, but I'd love to hear from either Courtney or Kenyon, because it'd be nice to speak with him. He's gone all shyness now.
You could just see graphically there when Paul was demonstrating the throttle control, there was a little lanyard hanging down there. That's a kill switch, so should the rider part company from the bike, it automatically cuts the ignition out and the bike loses all power if it heads towards the fence or anything else. So just something that people may not be familiar with.
Plenty of safety features which have been introduced over the years. I did see some old racing, or going back to the 1960s, where safety was an entirely different issue. I think we've got an interview in the pits now. Paul.
Yes, we've got young Courtney out here who's attempting a first round in a sidecar. You must be enjoying it out there.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
How are you getting used to the track and also the machine itself?
Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's good. Keep going.
What other categories you have raced in beforehand?
This is my first time, so...
First time racing, ever?
Yep.
Must get a big thrill out of it.
Yeah, it's good, yep.
Well, we wish you all the best out there in your next couple of heats.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Well, very modest in her approach to the sport, and I bet she had about 30,000 people around sort of making faces and doing all other sorts of things, making it hard for her. Well done, Paul. So we know one half of the team. That's Courtney Heft.
Making a debut in a 1,000cc sidecar event, the Jeff Gittus event to boot. Well, a big ask for anyone. Well done.
What better event to rock up to, though? You couldn't pick a better one, could you? Could you, Murray Cleesby? No, Murray said. So this is our exhibition 250, boys. We'll run a clock over them. You run a clock over them. So this is, I just got to tell you again, folks, everywhere, not a race, just an exhibition run. So Mitchell McDermott, Lincoln Metcalf. Both of these boys not old enough to officially compete in the 250 division. Well, what they're doing is trying to get used to how the bike handles, how it responds, etc., etc. And I reckon they know that pretty well at this stage, because they've been mainly running around Pinjar most of the season on the 250s, just getting used to the way they work. Track doesn't change, but your approach has to. And of course, the 250 are a lot more power than the 125, and a different size bike, different frame. And this is probably, as I say, we're going to bring out the club flag, indeed, to finish this event. So 69.205. That's just a demonstration run, as it were.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast at home, watching by our front row screens. And as Grant just suggested, demonstration race, those lads are 14, 15 years old, racing 250cc solos. Not quite old enough yet to get into the competitive 250 solos, which are out on the track now for your enjoyment.
I'm just by the pit area here, ladies and gentlemen, just by Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall's car. They're working very hard on the engine. They're only running on 3 cylinders, as they have been all throughout the night. They're doing everything they can to get that 4th cylinder back up and running to get full power heading into the final heats and the remaining finals that'll take place a little later tonight. A lot of hard work for the team.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Here we go with the 250s. Their next heat, Luke Colleen, Colby Mason, Jack McDermott, Xander Smith. Is that the way they're across the track? I think it is, yep. Just doing something here. Bit of excavating, Lukey.
Luke's being sent back by the look of it to
he's going to have a handicap.
A bit of a handicap, which is good.
He just nods his head. I didn't know nothing about that.
Well, I think he should be on 100 metres.
Oh, you're rough. And Jack, where's Jack? Is Jack getting sent back as well? Oh no, he's just adjusting himself on the line. And no, they're all going to adjust themselves on the line. Give me a break. Here we go. Oh, best to start is Jack McDermott. Colby Mason gets a good start as well down low, but McDermott's got the form at this stage. Let's see if Luke Colleen with that handicap can peg him back. Luke is going to try and go around the outside of Mason and does that. Colby has a bit of a look over the shoulder. What was that? That was Luke Colleen into second place on the 54. Going to set sail after Jack McDermott. Jack's having a good run so far. Down the back straight into 3 and 4. Got to keep it nice and steady, Mr. McDermott. pretty focused, switched on at this point. The 17 biker, Jack McDermott. Here comes Luke Colleen. Is he going to challenge the inside or the outside? Looks to the inside of Jack McDermott. The move is there for him. He can take it in the main straight. Has a bit of a Luke at Jack McDermott. Jack comes back though. Gets a bit more drive than Luke Colleen, but Colleen heads the master of 1 and 2. Jack going to try and come back at Colleen. Not going to happen for him as the checkered comes out. He's going to win this from the handicap. Well done, Luke Colleen. 54, 17 and 23. Colleen takes the win.
Well, good ride from all the lads there.
It was indeed. And you're all up time 66.63. 66.63. Great ride by Colleen, and the handicapper knew what he was doing, or she was doing, or they were doing.
No, I still think he should have been back another 20 metres, made it really interesting.
500 cc's are out next. It should be Brooke Lawson, red out of 1. It might be our pal NF, the flat man. Could be Nigel, because there's a blank in the program. I think you've got to go to the Lincoln Worrell out there. He'll be wide out of 3. So folks, you should be using the sheet that came in with your program. Hopefully you all got a sheet with it. And it's event 44 we're on. It has been a little bit of an interesting night as far as program changes are concerned, but we're on top of it. Lawson, red out of 1. Is Nige there? Blue out of 2, he is?
Yes, he is. And Lincoln Worrell's handicap back there at 50 metres.
Link's on 50. Well, he's on the fence, and this is Nathan, Brooke Lawson. Nathan Eastcott's here on the outside.
Is this Brooke Lawson that rides the flat track
same one.
on Jason Bishop's ex-bike?
He's
well done.
So here we go, we're ready for this one. 500 cc's, 4 laps. Oh, good start by Nigel Flatman, our man Nigel. Here comes Lincoln Worrell from his 50 metre handicap. Can he get round these boys and give chase? Well, I think the challenge is on. Oh, well done, Lincoln Worrell around outside them both in a fell swoop. Oh, drops the model. And one of the boys down there, that's Brooke Lawson. He's gone over the top of the Worrell bike and come down, and he hasn't moved at this point. So we'll just take a little bit of a break. So Brooke Lawson is the rider that went over the top of the bike of Lincoln Worrell's when Lincoln dropped the model. And whether he's winded himself or not, Lincoln up straight away, but I think Link's been asked to go and see the people at MBS Medical. Here's Brooke Lawson on his feet, folks. Give him a big round of applause. That was a big tumble. It's okay. And Lincoln Worrell puts his arm around him, so All good. I think it's good to see them on their feet. It was a pretty tough tumble. People at home have the, I don't know if you want to call it a privilege, but they have the opportunity of watching the replay. Where both the boys took the tumble. So we'll go back to a restart for this one. It's Brooke Lawson walking off. He's okay, probably a bit disappointed with himself.
Probably more worried about his bike, I should think.
Oh, well, that's how it goes. And you can, well, Lincoln Worrell also just having a yarn to the people from MDS Medical, making sure that all is good.
Yes, he might have got a clip on the way through when Brooke
Yeah,
had nowhere to go, but...
surprised that he didn't, but, well, it's good that he didn't.
Just appears to be giving him a little concussion test. Oh, bad luck for Brooke there. He was going well, and he's been riding superbly on the flat trackers.
Yep, really well on the flat trackers, but the 500cc solos are a tough assignment. So Lincoln Worrell just continuing his discussions with the folks from MDS.
I've been talking to Neil Machin during the last couple of weeks, and he mentions that both Greg Bartlett and or Steve Johnson, ex-flat trackers or motocrossers, moved on to solos, and it is a difficult assignment, but both of those two boys, of course, as you know, adapted superbly.
It's a huge assignment, and I think almost a bigger assignment when you're going from one style of bike to another on the same night, with handling characteristics, power, etc. And if my memory serves me correctly, those flat trackers do have brakes, whereas the 500s, the outright speedway solo bike, doesn't. So you've got a few different things going on in your mind when you're coming up on someone who's sprawled across the track.
Yes,
how do I deal with this?
Why the solo riders are taught and practice how to drop the bike in the event of an accident in front of them.
So we do acknowledge and thank the people from SDS Medical, normally at the top of the program, and I often say this to you, Graham, I do like to acknowledge them and thank them for coming along, and hope they don't do anything but watch the racing, but sometimes they are called into action, and we're very appreciative of what they do and how they go about their business. So I don't know if you're in the crowd and you're listening and you need some expert paramedicals, these are the people to get a hold of. SDS Medical do a great job, and we certainly appreciate their support here at Pinjar Park. So I think, given the circumstances, that we can have a rerun on this one. It'll just be the two. It'll be Nigel Flatman and the Escott boy, Nathan Escott.
Well, I think they should give Nigel a little bit of a handicap here as well.
A lap?
No, I would put him on 50 and it'd make a nice race of it.
Okay. Well, he's got plenty of experience. He probably has more experience than the others put together. But whether it's, I think it's more than 50 metres handicap. But I won't argue with you on this Jeff Gittus Memorial Night.
A great track for solo racing tonight. I'm sure the Sidecar boys are enjoying it as well. There's a bit of meat in it, a bit of drive in it.
That's what they like. So Nige is up to the gate. Nathan Escott, bit of a stretch, bit of a deep breath. Ready, steady, go. So Nigel Flatman, it's, well, like yesterday for him, onto the back straight. He's just got to stay upright, I reckon, Nige, and he's got this one in the bag because Nathan, this is only his second meeting. He's down the main straight here as Flatman almost into the back straight. So we'll watch him. We've got the timer running. We'll see what Nigel's time is on the 500s.
Well, he's still got all the style of yesteryear.
He has, yep. And he was, fabulous servant to the sport, just rode it long and hard for such an amazing amount of time. 1 to go, Nige. You got a half a lap lead. He's through 1 and 2 onto the back straight. Nigel Flatman, and I think he won his first event tonight as well, didn't he? I think he did. I think he survived to win his first one, and he survived to win his second. Nigel Flatman, 70.82. 70.82.
I don't think Nigel would mind whether he won or lost, quite frankly. He's out there to have some fun, and that's exactly what he's doing.
So your winner, Nigel Flatman, over Nathan Eastcott, 70.82. Second round of the 500's about to come out. Mickey Godbold, red out of 1. Brian Miller, blue out of 2. Brandon McComb, white out of 3. Kobe Zidis, KZ, yellow out of 4. So it really should be Zidis and Miller with a handicap in this one.
Well,
if we're going on form.
2 of the hot shots in the field.
Yep.
Kobe's been riding very, very well. Brian had a bit of yes, Brian had a bit of engine problem, I think, in his first heat, but he still won it, I believe. This will be good.
So Godbold and Coombe are fabulous competitors in the flat track world. They're in the 500s now. And here come Zidis and Miller doing the chasing. They see what they can get a hold of here down the back straight. And where do I go, says Kobe. Well, I'll go around the outside. I'll go down the inside, says Brian. And this is handicap racing at its best, as your leader is Brandon Coombe. Brian Miller gets underneath him. Zidis tries for the outside. That doesn't work. He gets a little bit behind Miller now. So his job, his assignment, I don't think we're even halfway home. His assignment, Kobe Zidis, is to try and catch Brian Miller. Miller has a look over the wrong shoulder. You can't see anyone there. He's over your right-hand shoulder, Brian. And here he comes. Kobe Zidis gets up almost on equal terms on the back straight. He's going to try the high, wide and handsome. Got plenty of drive out there. Try and go wide and go round the outside of Miller. No, not enough room there. Kobe's up high again. And now he's going to get plenty of drive off that back straight. So he's got a long run at it, but doesn't quite get the act together. Now does. You can see the dirt fly. Kobe Zidis trying to get around the outside of Miller. Not going to do it. Oh, Miller, fabulous ride.
3/4 of a bike length in it.
Yep. Heads up, you boys. And then Coombe home in third. Mickey Godbold in fourth. 66.573. 66.573.
Oh, that was a terrific race. Those two boys.
That was a lovely race.
Really enjoyed that.
Yep, that was a lovely race between those two. Picking different lines at different times and different riders to get around.
How good is it to see a little bit of handicap racing on the program here at Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway?
I'm a fan. I like a good handicap race.
Absolutely.
Sidecars now, so it should be the Troy Craig Fred Dillon combination of the 31 bike or 31 sidecar. They should be red out of 1. Cruz McVie, David Mercer will be blue out of 2. They're on one of the 97 bikes. The other 97 is the bike of Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall, but they're on the spare Mitchell bike. Mark Drew and Mick Seatar, white out of 3. And Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, yellow out of 4. Well, they've got the job ahead of them, Bishop and Winchester, because this position 4 over here isn't necessarily kind to sidecars.
No, I think they've got the ability to do it, though. They're on fire. They've been riding exceptionally well. I'm very impressed with Bishop-Winchester combination today. They're back to their state championship winning form of last year. But they've got to get round Drew and Seatar.
Yep.
Who are right alongside them in the white helmet colour.
And McVie and Mercer, who after the first few shakedown runs you might describe it as here, so Cruz McVie can get used to this Pinjar layout. They're up there in the mix as well. So yeah, the progress through this event of Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester will be keen to follow, and they'll be starting here on the outside. They've got the yellow helmets on, they've got the red bike, number 82.
If you have a quick look at that Russell Mitchell bike, you can see that front suspension is totally different to all of the other ones. That's a fairly new innovation from Russell Mitchell, and Rock Bryan's got it on his bike, as does Russell on his suspension bike. So.
Okay. You can tell me about that a little bit. We'll try and get through this one. I think Bishop and Drew next to each other. Good start. Oh, Drew, he gets up in the air, but he gets it back down on the ground. He's in the lead. Bishop and Winchester going to have to go around the outside. But I tell you, down low, it's that Cruz McVie and David Mercer. They're leading this one at this stage. It's a bit of a surprise as they hold on. Mark Drew's going to try and come down low. Bishop and Winchester tailed off. I tell you what, Cruz McVie and David Mercer have sprung a surprise so far in this one. We're only halfway home. I realise, he's lost a little bit of power there. That's let Drew and Sidecar through. He'll be disappointed with that because just the slightest miscue, and he's dropped back to second. He's gone back into the clutches of the Bishop-Winchester combination, who'll be spitting chips, so to speak, because they're now, they're in second place. They get on equal terms with Cruz McVie and David Mercer. But can they track down the leaders, Drew and Sidecar? I don't think they can, because here the checkers are out. Graham Headington, Martin Vaughan going to hold those nice and high. What a great win. What a great win to Mark Drew and Mick Sidecar. So they'd be happy with that. Drew and Sidecar taking the win. And did it against the odds in some respects. 68.965. 68.965. And Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester back in second. Cruz McVie, David Mercer, they led half of that one. They finished in third. And Troy Craig, Fred Dillon back in fourth as we go to the pits.
Well, I'm actually in the crowd, gents, because I'm here right now with a special guest of mine, a good mate of mine, Jared McLean. Good to have you here, mate.
Mate, this is the first time I've come to the Speedway here at Pinjar Park, and I am not lacking for entertainment. This is incredible.
Well, speaking of entertainment, we're here in the crowd to give away some marvellous front row screen stubby holders, but we got to get the crowd that I'm standing in front of to make some noise. Let's get loud, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to throw some out here to the crowd right about now. There we go. Some FRS stubby holders coming your way. Let's keep them going. They're coming in left, right and centre here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think, Paul, look, there's one young fella who has really been screaming out for a stubby holder. Here you go, mate.
Hello, mate.
He was the very first to come up. G'day, mate. Give us a wave to the camera. Give us a wave.
Brilliant stuff.
All happening here at Pinjar Park. What an incredible event.
It's not over yet. We've still got a few races to go. We're going to get back out to the track right now, and we'll give away some more FRS stubby holders a little bit later.
Hope you're coming to the commentary box, Paul, because if you don't bring one of those stubby holders, we'll be locking the door. Let's go through the heat in this one. Should be Kenlyn Ewell and Courtney Heft. We heard from Courtney just a while ago in the pitch. They should be red out of 1. Scott Charsley and Matty Reese blue out of 2. Are they going to have a little bit of a handicap there, the Ewell Heft team? They are. Liptrot and Thomas white out of 3. Mitchell and Cornwall, they're out here on the outside, yellow out of 4. So we're ready to go. Good start by Liptrot and Thomas, a better start by Charsley and Reese. On the outside, Liptrot and Thomas get past Charsley and Reese, as does Mitchell and Cornwall. Here's the race on now. See what Liptrot and Thomas can do. They've had an average night by their standards to this point, leading Mitchell and Cornwall at this stage. Up high, getting plenty of drive and plenty of speed out of that 6 bike. Down the back straight, Mitchell and Cornwall going to try and haul them in a lot lower line. And are they making some ground on them? Yes, they are, as we go down the main straight. And as we get down to the bottom corner here, into turns 1 and 2, Mitchell and Cornwall about to pounce. Reese. Oh, yeah, perfect was Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall as they slid by the Reese Liptrot and Jesse Thomas bike. Back in third, a long way back, Scott Charsley and Matty Reese, but the battle up front, Reese and Liptrot, I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, savage into the side of the Mitchell and Cornwall bike and take the win. So it'll be interesting back in the pits, I imagine. Well. Reese and Liptrot.
Why is it excluded?
So I think we might have an exclusion in this one.
Well, Liptrot's been excluded by the referee. Russell Mitchell not happy with it, but he'll get the win anyhow.
Yep, takes the win. First will be Mitchell and Cornwall. Second will be Charsley and Reese. Third will be Ewell and Heft. This won't be an official time because the first rider across the line has been disqualified. 67.575. 67.575.
Well, what a turn up there.
Yeah, it was most surprising. We'll go back to the pits now, and I don't know if we are going back to the pits, but going back to Paul, could still be in the crowd. Paul Persick.
Thanks, Grant. I've got more FRS stubby holders to give away. But first of all, we want all the crowd here to make some noise. If you want an FRS stubby holder, let's get loud, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, a bit louder than that. Come on, guys. That's more like it. That's more like it. We've got a few more coming your way. Here we go. We got some more. We got the last of them. And we've only got a few more left. This is the last of them. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? There you guys go. Going to away some FRS stubby holders thanks to Front Row Screens providing coverage here at this event. We've got only a few more races before the big final coming up, so stay where you are.
So we're bringing the next heat out. Bujos and Blackman red out of 1. McMurray and Williams blue out of 2. Nash and Shield white out of 3. Vanderlinden and Vanderlinden, they haven't been here all night and they're not here now. So there's the Morgan Cornwall on the infield. They might have lost something off the Mitchell bike. He's run across there. He's in good form, is young Morgan.
Well, I've got a big shunt there, so something's dislodged from the bike, obviously.
It was a big shunt, that's one way of describing it. Bujos and Blackman are going to be out of 1. McMurray and Williams will be out of 2. And then Nash and Shield will be wide out of 3. You would think that this would be 3 points for Nash and Shield, but you should never say that.
Well, Bujos had a good run in his last heat.
He did have a great run.
Let's see, he gets out of the gate very, very well on that number 4 outfit.
And knows Speedway, knows it very well. But this will be good to watch, this one. Nash Tech Auto Electrics WA number 1, the 23 bike, and he's away. That's Darren Nash and Ash Shield. And they'll just go right around the outside into the lead, and that's where they've gone. They need to keep it wound up tight, though, does Darren Nash and Ash Shield. Second place at the moment, Lee Bujos, but I tell you what, Stephen McMurray's given him a bit of a hurry on. So McMurray was on equal terms in the main straight here, but drifted back. He's going to catch up again. Bujos and Blackman not with the straight power that the Bujos bike seems to have. I mean, Bujos and Blackman not with the straight power that the McMurray and Williams bike seems to have. But we're describing second and third, but your winner, as a friend of mine says, is a runaway rocking horse, and that is the bike of Darren Nash and Ash Shield. Into 1 and 2 for them for the final time around, and down the back straight. You put down the glasses. They're going to win this one and keep their unbeaten streak alive as we come onto the main straight. Darren Nash and Ash Shield take the win from Bujos and Blackman, and plenty of exhaust coming out of the Bujos Blackman bike. I'd say they need to go back to the pits pretty quickly with that bike. I think she's pretty hot. And then McMurray and Williams home in third. Time 66.341.
Well, Nash and Shield there just got the break out of the start, held the bike, just let it flow half-track high for the entire journey. Very well controlled race. And so far undefeated, 12 points.
Yep, so they're the only ones now who are undefeated.
Yes, 12 points. They're leading Daniel Bishop and Winchester on 11. Back to Drew and Ceta on 9. And Mitchell Cornwell on 11 also. So,
okay. Yep.
So there are 2 riders on 11, 1 on 12 and 1 on 9. Your top 4 so far.
So this one brings out in the red Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood, in the blue the Thompson brothers, Ben and Jamie. In third we've got White, we've got Rock Bryan and David, well it's not David Mercer, it's Braden Wells. And yellow out of 4, Jack Fuster and Jonah Sidecar. So we just got the 3 in this one. We've got this one ready to go. We'll see if Fuster and Sidecar can get out of the box, and they've got out of the box okay, but they're mired behind the 81 bike, and that's the bike of Bishop. And did we lose the Thompsons out of that one? We might have. So in the lead, Rock Bryan, how about that? He's got the Kalgoorlie Monster wound up nice and tight. And here's Jack Fuster trying to get on equal terms with Jeff Bishop. He does that down the main straight. And Rock Bryan and Braden Wells, can they take off this one? No, they cannot, because here comes the young fella. Jack Fuster into the lead. Can he hold it there? Rock Bryan gets a little bit sideways. 1 to run. Fuster and Sidecar, your leader in the 45 box, and boiled lollies to chocolates, or chocolates to boiled lollies for Rock Bryan. And unfortunately, he's not going to finish this one. We don't think he's onto the grass. Your winner will be the 45 bike. That's a good win there to young Jack Fuster, with Jonah Sidecar on board, and then Jeff Bishop and Cramie Holmwood finishing in second place. Unfortunately, the Thompsons did not start that one, Graham.
No.
But a good win there to Fuster, and unfortunately the Bryan Wells combination didn't finish, but brilliant race nevertheless to Jack Fuster, 67.862. Yourself off or mute yourself. I can just hear you talking all through the call of that last race.
All right, we're here at the crowd here at Pinjar Park Speedway just before we get finals coming up. We've got some fans here. We want to send you a reminder to share our stream here tonight. So go onto Facebook and search up Front Row Screens with the nice 3-lettered logo with a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, you'll know it. And then share the stream wherever you may be, so you let the fans know what they are seeing from their home. They've got value for entertainment out here at Pinjar Park Speedway, and if they want to get here in person, make sure you see the stream first of all, just to get a little taste of what they got coming the next time they come to Pinjar Park Speedway.
Flat trackers out there, thank you, Paul. Flat trackers out there, rows of 2. Graham's got the red flag aloft. He's about to walk off the track. We're looking for anybody? I don't think we are. We've lost Brooke Lawson. Brooke's not going to be there, injured in that 500 event. Oh, see who can get the best out of this one. And that's Brandon Coombe is in your lead, and Mickey Godbold will be in second. So that's the extent of my knowledge. I don't think I know the rest of them. It's going to have to be Brandon Coombe from Mick Godbold at this stage. We'll look for a number on the third place through there. And we've got 62 on the... that could be Troy Ralph. It could be the Ralph bike, because he was fairly prominent last time on. Mick Godbold, a good challenge here on the Brandon Coombe bike, and in fact a successful challenge. Moves through underneath as Coombe gets up in a little bit of the loose stuff and just couldn't hold on. He's going to try and come back. But we haven't got Brooke Lawson out there in that 1964 Beezer. So here's Brandon Coombe down the inside of Mickey Godbold. Can't quite make it stick. Yellow's going to come out as we come onto the main straight. Godbold getting a bit of a sniff for this one. Godbold from, Brandon Coombe. What are you doing up there, Brandon? Trying to take some dirt off the safety fence. He's running second. Third place will be Troy Ralph. That's how we'll call him. And Brandon's gone high again. But Mickey Godbold going to win this one. Well done, Mick. Coombe second. Ralph third. And we'll give you the flat tracker times, 75.016. 75.016. So we've got one more round of all divisions to go, Graham, but we can probably have a look at the sidecar points at this stage. And at the top, at the absolute top, the combination of Darren Nash and Ash Shield, they're undefeated so far. Then you go back to Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester and Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall, who have 3 wins apiece and 1 second. And then we drop down to Jack Fuster, Jonas Sitar on 9, Mark Drew, Mick Sitar on 9. So that's father and son, those 2 Sitars, Jonah the son. And they're the top 4. So top 3, I'm thinking, goes straight through to the A. But we've still got another round of heats to come. So we'll pay a few of our bills with a few advertisements. Leave you with the Jeff Gittus at this stage with your leaders, Darren Nash and Ash Shield.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Thank you very much. Just a track grade, as you can see. We'll be back racing again shortly, but how good is this sidecar racing, folks? I hope you're enjoying the broadcast at home, because we certainly are trackside. Well done to front row screens. Interviews from the pits. We've got it all happening here tonight. Stubby holders into the crowd. Well done. Solos have been exciting with a bit of handicap racing, and of course we've just seen flat trackers, reasonable field, and putting on some good racing for us. We just reflect back onto that little incident with Reece Liptrop and Russell Mitchell. a fairly hard bang there. I think it's part of sidecar racing, maybe a little heavy-handed, but never mind. But in the end, the referee excluded the. In fact, I think here's a replay on for home viewers anyhow.
If you're at home, you can have a look at it.
It's a fairly big old bump.
And I'm not going to comment, but certainly it's a pretty substantial impact.
The unfortunate bit for Russell in all of that, he's already got a fairly sore hip. Sue Mitchell tomorrow morning will be listening to the complaints, I can tell you, around the breakfast table with the sore hip. But,
is that right?
The longer the night goes on, and particularly with a heavy bump like that, it's going to do Russell's progress no good at all. But I'm sure in the pits they smooth everything out, make adjustments to their bike and come out and give it a good crack again the next race.
So we do have one more round of sidecars to come. They're pretty tantalising, some of these heats. You've got Fuster and Sidecar up against Drew and Sidecar. That's one of the heats. You've got Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall with Darren Nash and Ash Shields. That's another one of the heats. You've got the Bishop father and son combination. They're out there again in another heat. And, our man in black, Reece Liptrot, Jesse Thomas, he's out there in the final heat, but he's out of position 4. So points up for grabs. Still some changes possible. We're thinking you've got to make top 7, top 3 qualify automatically for the A final. And then the B final will take the winner through to join the A final. So at this stage, you'd say sureties, definitely Nash and Shield would be almost in the A. And after that, hard to sort of.
Well, you've got the Bishop Winchester combination and the Mitchell Cornwall, both on 11 points, 1 point adrift. And
can't afford to lose points.
No, so you would think they would be, depending on the next round of heat, or the next heat they compete in, you'd think they'd be reasonably comfortable. Reece Liptrop, after being excluded and in that last heat, he's going to need a win desperately, I think, to get into the B
Into
final.
the B, that's what he's got to do. He's got to win to get into the B, and his task is not easy. He's out of position 4, but he's not up against, an experienced field as such. He's got the Thompson brothers, and when they missed their last heat, so whether they're called it a night, we don't know. We've got Troy Craig and Fred Dillon aboard the ex-Chad Harvey bike, and we've got Stephen McMurray and Jason Williams, who have been improving all season. They're still pretty new to the sport. So Liptrot and Thomas's opportunity is certainly there in that heat to grab maximum points. But just looking, you were talking about Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall. They've got a very hard assignment up against Darren Nash and Ash Shield, but they're starting next to each other in one of the heats to come. They've also got in that heat Lee Boujos and Corey Blackman and Rock Bryan and David Mercer and Braden Wells. So I think we have enough time that we can go to Paul and see what Paul Perich is up to. Paul.
Okay, I'm here by the VIP and sponsor tent. I've got the leading man from Tadalco. Tell us what your business is.
Curb and concrete.
Curb and concrete?
Yeah.
So specifically, curb and concrete in buildings or anything like that?
Yeah, just civil construction and curbing and concrete, footpaths.
They got a long connection with Speedway here in Pinjar?
Just a connection with RCA Civil Group.
How are you enjoying the racing, Andy?
Yeah, loving it, mate. It's brilliant.
Always a great atmosphere?
Yeah, awesome.
Well, we certainly hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, now we're going to bring in, of course, the man from Affordable Cars, the great man Rod. Rod, you're enjoying the Speedway for many, many years at the moment. How are you?
I've been enjoying the Speedway since 1947.
1947, that's a long time.
Continually, and now that's how many years, I can't remember, but it's a long, long time.
How are you enjoying it tonight, in particular, with a good crowd here?
Great crowd, great weather, and some fantastic racing. Yeah, world class.
Best race for the night so far?
Well, the sidecars, of course, but there's been some really close finishes, so it's hard to pick one. But I'm looking forward to the grand final.
Who do you think is going to take out the Sidecar A final?
Well, I think the favourite would have to be Darren Nash because he's won every heat so far tonight. And the last meeting, the state title night, he won 5 out of 5. So he's just on a roll at the moment.
Not hard to ignore his momentum. Well, I hope you're enjoying the rest of the night, mate.
His DNA, because his father was a multiple state and national sidecar champion. So it runs in the family, I think, with the Nashes.
Hard to ignore his momentum. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the night, mate.
Certainly will. Thank you very much.
Some great sponsors here by the VIP tent here at Pinjar Park Speedway, as we're not far away from the final heats and the final races getting underway.
We really appreciate the sponsorship that we get from people like Rod Slater, because it is marvellous, and also the good people who've got their sign up on the safety fence for the first time this year. That's Tedalco. Nice to speak to one of their managers. So we've got another demonstration run by Mitchell McDermott, Lincoln Metcalf. We'll run a clock on them. So it's Mitchell McDermott is the boy in advance of the pack, and the pack is of 1. Lincoln Metcalf. So these young fellas, just an opportunity for them to do some more homework, if you like, on their 250s. Make sure that it works properly. Pretty good exhibition by these young fellas. I think that was, I don't know, it was 1 or 2 laps through. We're going to bring out the club flag to call it all over. McDermott and Metcalf doing it well. 250s. I don't know how many laps that was, but we didn't really run a time on it, but I see the times popped up anyway. We'll just stop it. Okay, away, go, just go.
I'm here by the back straight here, and I've got a very special friend with me. This is the Jeff Gittus Memorial Sidecar Trophy. Plenty of names engraved here on this very special trophy from the Mitchells, Winchester, also Ash and Shield and Co. One name is going to be added to the 2021 slot on this magnificent shield to honour the late, great Jeff Gittus. Who's it going to be? Well, you'll find out in a matter of minutes.
Just had to rouse some kids away from the commentary and stewards box. If they belong to you, please take them away. So a 250cc handicap, Jack McDermott advantaged by starting off the pole line. Luke Colleen's the boy with the big handicap, but he's through to second already. See if he can make any ground up on Jack. He should be able to. He's going to sneak up on his heels next time through down this back straight, you can bet. Then back to Mason and back to Smith. On his heels now, Luke Colleen, 54. These young fellas still at school. He's trying to get on equal terms with McDermott. He's going to do it now as we head into 3 and 4. Tries to manoeuvre the bike underneath. Does it successfully onto the main straight. 1 to run he'll find. Luke Colleen is your leader from Jack McDermott. And then back to Mason. Xander Smith is back here in 4th. Jack McDermott giving it his all, but Luke Colleen's going to win this one. Fabulous ride. 66.716. 66.716.
Well, terrific stuff there from Luke Killeen particularly, but Jack wasn't done. He came back and gave it a real good crack. And Colby Mason in third there, and in fact Xander Smith, this is their first year on 250 solo racing, so you know, they're coming on nicely. They're good competitors.
Yep, and we've got to pull these boys through the 250s and up into the 500s to improve our situation as far as numbers are concerned. And we've certainly got some very promising young riders. As you mentioned, Luke Killeen, Jack McDermott, Xander Smith, Colby Mason. That 250cc event, 66.716. 500s are due out now. Brandon Combe, Mick Godbold, Brian Miller, Lincoln Worrell should be your lineup. Looks like Lincoln Worrell will be a scratching. I've just seen him behind the combox. So we'll have Brandon Combe, Mick Godbold, Brian Miller. Brian's going to be on that handicap back there. We brought someone out with him.
That's Kobe Ziodis, I think, up there.
Okay, that's interesting. Wasn't supposed to be out in this heat. I don't know. We combined them. What have we done?
Another two riders coming out. Looks like Nigel Flackman, and I can't quite pick the rider in blue.
So look, this could be a combination of these two heats, which are 52 and 53. Brooke Lawson will be scratching as well. So it'll be Combe, Godbold, Miller, Escott and Zydus. Oh, and Nigel Flatman as well. I didn't put Nige into the mix. How could I miss that? And it is a handicap. Brandon Combe out there. I don't think we've got Escott's taken his bike off the track. So he didn't start. So Miller and Zydus going to try and mix it in here. And Nigel Flatman up into second. Zydus around the outside of Miller. And races on. Your leader, Brandon Combe, but for how long? Nigel Flatman into the lead. It's been pursued by Brian Miller. Kobe Zydus looking for the high line around Brandon Combe, but that's delayed him somewhat in his pursuit of victory. Just delayed him big time as Nigel Flatman continues to lead. Flatman from Miller. Flatman, Miller and Zydus. The three experienced boys in the pack got over their handicaps pretty quickly and sliced through. They'll see the yellow flag this time through. Nigel's under plenty of pressure. Captain Flatman to his friends. Nigel Flatman continues to lead from Brian Miller. Miller with an opportunity now as Flatman just gets a little untidy into the entry of the back straight. Will he give up? No, he won't give up. Nigel Flatman on the outside. Here's a drag to the line. Oh, brilliant. Flatman, Miller, Zydus.
What a race.
67.97. 67.97.
Well done to the old fella there, Nigel Flatman. Half a bike length in it, I would have thought, at the finish.
Did it superbly. I thought Miller had his measure coming out of 3 and 4, but Nige knew where to be, put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, or he wound that throttle out another notch that was available. Took the win. Well done. Nigel Flatman, your winner in 67.970. Second home was Brian Miller. Third home was the next bloke, Kobe Zydus.
Well, I think the advantage Nigel had there coming out of turn 4, his bike was fairly straight when he put the pedal to the metal, and Brian was crossed up, so once he put some power down, he got a bit out of shape, just lost a bit of drive, and Nigel was able to finish it off over the finishing line. Well done.
So I think we can go to Paul. I don't know where you are, Paul, but I think we can go to you.
Well, I'm in the pits this time. We're about to get the last round of heats for the sidecars underway in the points. Bishop and Winchester, Nash and Shield and Mitchell and Cornwall are at the top of the points with only 2 heat rounds still left before the B and A final. Remember, the top 4 instantly go through to the A final and then a semi-final to determine the final runners who will take part in that grand final for the prestigious Jeff Gittus Memorial Trophy. That'll be contested in just a matter of minutes' time here at Pinjar Park Speedway. Still a lot to digest. Of course, Nash and Shield have had a few overheating problems. They are resolved. Mitchell and Cornwall, they've only been working on 3 cylinders across the night. Can they get the 4th in time for this last round of heats? Still a lot of stories to be told in the last couple of heat races and, of course, the finals.
Looking forward to a couple more reports before we get to those finals, Paul. But as we take a look at this next sidecar heat, they're not quite out there, but let's go through the field. Out of red, out of 1 will be Jack Fuster and Jonas Sitar. They probably couldn't have hoped for a better starting position than that. Out of 2 will be Kenlin Yule and Courtney Heft. They'll be out of position 2, blue out of 2. And then the Vanderlindens were slated to start white out of 3, but they're not here this evening by the looks of it, or certainly haven't brought the bike out at all. And yellow out of 4 will be Mark Drew and Mick Sitar. So 3 to go in this heat. 3, 2 and 1 points available. And you would say that Fuster and Sitar and Drew and Sitar would be looking for those big 3. Here's the Drew bike about to enter the track. Kenlin Yule, Courtney Heft, her first time at the Speedway and has acquitted herself marvellously. Everybody else with a little bit more experience. Had to borrow leathers for the night. That's a small ask in a way. The big ask is to get on the bike.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's not for the faint-hearted.
No, not at all.
Well, this is a crucial race for Mark Drew in particular. He needs 3 points to ensure that he's up there. Fuster's quite comfortable at 9.
Okay, well, they're both on 9, aren't they?
So,
yep.
Mick Sitar there, a very experienced passenger.
Yep. So Drew, in fact, is out of 4, and yep, that's how it's going to work. So it's not really a bigger disadvantage to him because the Thompsons are non-starters, and the Yule-Heft combination is way back there. So Drew and Sitar are going to have the advantage of power around the outside, but that Fuster bike has got plenty of mumbo, and they're in the lead. They're going to be chased by Drew and Sitar. So Jack Fuster, 17-year-old schoolboy at the front of that bike, number 45, the Mills drainage outfit, and riding it very well at this point with his passenger Jonas Sitar, who's graduated out of the junior ranks a couple of years ago, went road racing and is now back on the back of a sidecar, which is where we love to see him. You love to see him involved in our wonderful sport. Continues to lead this event, does Jack Fuster, down the main straight, followed by Drew and Sitar, father and son combination out there, well, not combination on different bikes, but out in the same race. But folks, this is all Jack Fuster at this stage. He's going to win this one. Fuster takes the win. Fuster from Drew and then back to Yule. Great win by Jack Fuster. Mark Drew second. Yule and Heft in third. And the time 66.874. 66.874. Next set of sidecars, Graham, will feature Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall, red, Darren Nash, Ash Shield, blue, Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman, white, and Rock Bryan and Braden Wells, yellow.
Just going back to that last heat, you have a 17-year-old youngster, very experienced youngster, I might add, and he's out there leading a former Australian and West Australian champion in Mark Drew. Terrific job these youngsters are doing.
Yeah.
Future of sidecar racing in Australia, without doubt.
Very, very focused team, and good guys to deal with when you get to speak to them. Jack Fuster and Jonas Sita. Youngsters and reasonably old heads on young shoulders, if you know what I mean. So Mitchell and Cornwall will be red out of one, and this one be interested to see how they go, Graham, because as you point out, Russell carries a hip. Mitchell and Cornwall red out of one, Nash and Shield blue out of two, Bujos and Blackman white out of three, and Bryan and Wells yellow out of four. We've got them all.
It looks like the Bujos bike is back running again on all four, and you'll put a cat amongst the pigeons, don't worry about that.
Well, and how about Rock Bryan and Braden Wells? They led 2 laps against, was it, I don't know, earlier in the night,
yes,
one of the
indeed.
fancied fields.
Yes.
There's been that much in the way of great sidecar racing here. We got actually Bujos and Blackman have got the other Nash Tech bike.
Right. Well,
so
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Ready at the start. And it's bumper bars out there, and the red bike is Mitchell and Cornwall, and Nash and Shield sneak underneath them. Russell Mitchell might just be a little bit leery of people down on his inside. It's Bujos and Blackman try the same move, doesn't work. There's going to be a traffic jam for a second, third and fourth down there in the back straight as Nash and Shield start to sneak away. They've got the wick wound up on the 23 bike. Then 97 of Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall not getting away from Bujos and Blackman at all, as Nash and Shield just have a little bit of a lose on the back straight and give away some of the advantage they'd created. They're going to go and create that again. Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall giving a great chase. Down the back we go for the last time in this one. Last heat for these boys to qualify. Nash and Shield going to take it out by the looks of it, and they do that. Nash and Shield first. Mitchell and Cornwall second. Bujos and Blackman third. Can't do any better than 5 wins on the trot, can you? So the win to Nash and Shield, 67.284, 67.284 was their Pinjar Park time. Second, Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall. Third, Lee Bujos, Corey Blackman. And officially fourth, Rock Bryan and Braden Wells. So I don't know that Darren Nash and Ash Shield could have done any better preparation to qualify. They've qualified on top, and that will normally give them first choice of gate. And last time they went for gate 2, I think. They didn't go for gate 1.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, well, see what they do this time. So we'll line this one up for you. The next heat of sidecars. Red out of 1 will be Cruz McVie and David Mercer. Blue out of 2 will be Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood. White out of 3 will be Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester. Another battle between father and son there. And yellow out of 4, Scott Charsley, Matthew Reese aboard the War Pig. Have we got 3 or we got 4? We got 3.
Just 3.
Someone's closed the gate. So we've got... So we've got the 81, the 82. So that's Jeff Bishop, Clinton Holmwood, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, Scott Charsley and Matt Reese. So we've lost McVie and Mercer for some reason.
He rode well in his last heat as well.
He did.
Unfortunate.
So don't know what the situation is there. They were on a borrowed bike. They had to borrow a bike to race, but I thought all was good. Away we go, Bishop v Bishop. See if Charsley can interfere. He's dropped off the pace already. So this is Daniel Bishop in the lead. DB JB. Daniel Bishop, your leader. Jeff Bishop in second. And they're not much separating those two. And Scott Charsley not having much of a run on board the 22 at this stage, and well and truly mired back there in third. Not going to make any impression on these boys up front whatsoever, as we're halfway home in this heat. Last qualifying heat for these riders, these teams out there, and doing the best at this stage is young Daniel Bishop with his passenger on board, Justin Winchester. Running second is his father, Jeff Bishop, and Cromie Holmwood on the side as they come onto the main straight. Pinjar Park main straight, named after Peter Miller. Take the win, Daniel Bishop. Pretty happy about that. Bishop home in first. That's Daniel. Second home was Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood. Wheel standing it was Scotty Charsley into third, 67.190, 67.190.
Well, great ride from Daniel Bishop there. Again, he's been riding well. He just had the one second position, I think. Otherwise, he would have been on maximum as well. But as you can see, Grant, a bit of a traffic jam up the top of the leaderboard.
He's put himself into the A final with that ride.
Well, you've got Russell down here on 13.
And I'd say that
15, 14, 13.
Yep. So that should be, according to the way that we see things, they will be the three qualifiers that go automatically through to the A. That would be Darren Nash, Ash Shield, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, and Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall. Okay, so the traffic jam continues with a B. That's where the real traffic jam is.
And they're unofficial points as well, folks. Don't forget, we'll get to official points shortly.
We are very unofficial up here.
And then that puts some pressure on for this B final.
It does.
Fuster Seater are sitting nicely on 12 points, followed by Drew and Seater on 11. And Jeff Bishop and Cromie Holmwood on 10.
You got one more to slot in there.
So the next one would come from probably Burgess Blackman or...
Charsley Reese are on 8. Burgess Blackman are on 8. It's up to Liptrot and Thomas to leapfrog them and get themselves up onto 8.
Okay.
And they decided not to do it.
We don't have a...
They've decided not to do it. So they're not going to be going there. So we just got the two. We got Stephen McMurray and Troy Craig and Fred Dillon. So, well, after all that build-up, we couldn't get him out there, unfortunately. So, might have called it a night.
Well, he's got two bikes here. He might have damaged one, but you would think he'd come out on the other.
So McMurray, how's he in the mix of things? I don't think it's going to do enough for him. He's going to get to 7 in this. That's not going to be enough. McMurray and Williams, your leaders.
These McMurray and Williams is a first-year combination, doing very, very well.
They are.
And the other pair, well, we've never heard of them until this evening, so they're doing exceptionally well.
Yellows have been through, checkered's about to come out. So we do get to the tough end of the night because attrition, mechanical issues, you name it. But McMurray and Williams get the job done. Take the win. Second home, Craig and Dillon. So Thompson brothers didn't start. Liptrot and Thomas didn't start. And the all-up time, 72.97, 72.97. So that is all of our qualifying. So we've just got the finals to come. We will have 500cc final, 250cc final, flat track final. We've got Sidecar B final to take a qualifier through to the A, and then we've got the Jeff Gittus Memorial final, last race of the night. We've got flat trackers out now for their last round of heats. So I went a little bit too early. They're at their last round of heats. And like Brooke Lawson's recovered from his mishap. He's brought the 64 Beezer out. 500cc 64 Beezer. He's got it out there in row 2, so that's great to see. Well, we'll watch his progress. One of the boys down, and I think he might have hurt himself in that fall.
Looks like Ray Coleman, is it?
So it's the 6 bike, which is listed as Ian Moylan. So we'll just see. He's getting the bike back up, but he did come a gutser, as they say.
Yeah, that looks like Ray Coleman to me out there.
I'll go with your superior knowledge. So a restart. Whoever it is going to stay on the infield. We've still got 2 rows as been described. I don't think we're getting the other boy back over here, or is in any hurry.
Brooke Lawson got a big heap of drive off the line with the 500 Beezer.
He did. Well, whoever it is, if it's Ray Coleman,
I'm sure
he's got the Ray Coleman shape, and I think the 59 bike is Coleman's from memory. Just got a different number on his back to the one in the program, but that doesn't matter. Now Lawson again with a good start. We're talking about the boy with the green jumper on. He's sitting in 3rd at the moment. So he might just be still a little tender after coming down in that solo race, but drops the bike down to the inside. Moves up into 2nd, and he's still behind Brandon Combe. And that'll be, I think, Troy Ralph running in 3rd place. But as Lawson takes control, doesn't quite take control as Combe comes back again. It's Brandon Combe, but can't quite match Lawson's style on the corners. There's 64 Bs at 500cc's of it, getting the job well and truly done as he heads down the back straight. You'll see the yellow flag this time through as Combe comes again, trying to challenge him. Troy Ralph's on his inside. This is where the battle is up front. Lawson continuing to lead, and once he got to the lead, reasonably comfortable. There's good battle going on behind him between Ralph and Combe. They can't quite sort themselves out, but Troy Lawson going to hold on. Not only hold on, he's going to win this one. He's done it well. Lawson first, Combe 2nd, and we'll call it Troy Ralph in 3rd. He's got the 8 on the back, and that's about as much as we can do. Good win.
Yes, indeed. That bike of Brooke Lawson's there, it's, as we know, a 1964 model, got a totally different suspension setup, shorter travel, lower to the ground. It's a much better arrangement for flat track racing here. We would get swamped in motocross racing.
Oh yeah, and the time 74.736 as we go to Paul back in the pits.
Thanks, Grant. I've got the official points here for the sidecars 1000cc, and they are as follows. Darren Nash and Ash Shield clean sweeping all their heats. They got 15 points. Bishop and Winchester with 14. Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall with 13. And then rounding out the top 5 is Jack Fuster and Jonas Sitter with 12. And Mark Drew and Mick Sitter with 11. B final and the A final coming up shortly.
Yeah, important to get into that A final. So those boys, and thank you very much for those official points, Paul. So those boys through, Nash and Shield, Bishop and Winchester, and, Mitchell and Cornwall. They're the definite 3 that we're taking 3. And then we've got to find out who wins this B final. And it's going to come down to gate choice and all sorts of things like that. So we wait for that one. Ahead of that, we've got the 250cc final, we've got the flat track final, 500cc final. In the meantime, we'll pay our bills.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Welcome back to Pinjar Park Speedway. And for all our viewers at home that have missed all the action, we're able to give you the B and A final grids right now. They've just come through to me. For the B final, the grid will look like this. Jack Fuster and Jonah Sitter from the first gate. Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood will start for the next gate. Lee Bogius and Corey Blackman, and also Scott Charlesley and Matthew Reese, I should say. The Mark Drew team retired with problems on their bike. We'll get more of that in just a matter of moments. But Scott Charlesley's team next in line. And in the A final, instantly through to the A final, are those top 3 points getters. Darren Nash and Ash Shield. We've also got Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, and Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall in the A final. Remember, the winner of the B final gets that final ticket into the A final. The winner of the A final, of course, gets the prestigious Jeff Gittus Memorial Trophy.
It's good stuff, and thank you for that update. It's good to know the. I don't know if we've got the absolute grid positions for the A final, but by the looks of it, that B final will be the Fuster-Cedar combination out of red out of one. By the sounds of it, but we always got to wait until they come around here quite often. And well, there's a lot going on. Jeff Bishop and Cromie Holmwood out of 2, Lee Boujos, Corey Blackman out of 3, and Scott Charlesley, Matty Reese stepping up because, as you heard Paul say, Mark Drew and Jonah Cito unfortunately retiring for the night. So that's their challenge is over. Yeah, so that's the, don't know that absolutely that's the gate, but that's the information we've got through. Fuster, Cetar, this is the B final. Bishop and Homewood, Boujos and Blackman, and Charlesley and Reese. There's no gate given there.
No gate yet, no.
So we'll just have to wait on that one.
I think it's important to reflect why we're here and why these boys are out here racing frantically is in honour of Jeff Gittus, former Australian sidecar passenger. Won a couple of Australian titles, I think, with Dennis Nash, father of Darren Nash, and unfortunately was killed in a motor car or a road accident, not a speedway accident. So this event, in fact, honours Jeff Gittus. And we're going to cross over to Paul Persick for another pit interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here by Mark Drew and Mick Cedar's bike. Now, originally, these guys were meant to be in the B final. That'll take place in just a matter of minutes. But unfortunately, the bike suffered serious electrical problems that has put them out of the running. And as a result, Scott Charlesley and Matthew Reese have taken their place. Just repeating, Mark Drew and Mick Cedar's bike with some serious electrical problems in the last heat that has taken him out of the running. Very unfortunate for the crew, who look to have been doing quite well in the first few heats with some good points finishes.
Yeah, it's a tough break because they were doing exceptionally well and would have gone through to the B by the points that they had. But as best as we can determine, these are the gates, and I think you're pretty accurate in what you said, Paul, that will be Jack Fuster and Jonah Cito red out of 1. Jeff Bishop and Clinton Holmwood will be, well, they're listed as white. So that's whites out of 3, Boujos and Blackman blue out of 2, and Charlesley and Reese will be yellow out of 4. But we've seen these before, and they come out and they line up in different positions. So, and what I find interesting is previous meetings, the riders have often come across here to the gates to have a look at what choice they have, because it might not be, if you're the top point scorer, that you want to run from position 1, because gate 1 might not favour your style of starting, or it might be well and truly rutted up. So it'll be interesting to see what the situation is there.
And don't forget, it's do or die effort. Only the winner goes through to the A final. So you can't hang around in these B finals. You've got to win it.
So we're just going to go through with another one of our 250 trials. Mitchell McDermott and Lincoln Metcalf.
Front row screen viewers at home, this is a 250 demonstration race. Mitchell McDermott out in lead, Lincoln Metcalf following. I shouldn't really say a race because it's not, it's just a demonstration ride. These lads aren't old enough yet to compete at 250 level, but the Speedway Club give them every opportunity to get some practice laps in front of big crowds, and they do a fantastic job. Both of these boys have got a huge future in Speedway if they go on with it. I understand young Mitchell McDermott wants to go across to England and Europe when he's able to.
So, as you called it, Graham, not a race, but just an opportunity for these young guys to spend some time on more highly powered machines as they step through their speedway training. Mitchell McDermott and Lincoln Metcalf, well done. I know there's been another change to the B final lineup. Scott
okay.
Charsley and Matty Reese not starting now. It will be Stephen McMurray and Jason Williams. So if we'd waited until they'd come out, should be patient. But yeah, the final, the A final, the Jeff Gittus final, Darren Nash, Ash Shield, Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, Russell Mitchell, Morgan Cornwall, they are cemented in. Just got to wait for the winner of the B final.
Well, it's been a lung buster of a night, sidecar racing
monster.
at best, and of course you do have some attrition with these engines. They're finely tuned at flat throttle. So it's unfortunate.
Yep, over a night of racing. So we've got another little handicap going on here. 250s. Mason, McDermott and Smith on the front row. Luke Colleen back on 20. Away we go. McDermott jumps to the lead. Mason might have something to say about that. Luke Colleen's going to go round the outside of Xander Smith. Going to loom up on Colby Mason down the back straight. Say bye-bye, Colby. And into second place, moves the bike around a little bit, trying to find some drive. Jack McDermott is your leader. Jack and the Beanstalk down the back straight here at Pinjar Park. In the lead, Luke Colleen trying to find something for him. Halfway home, McDermott continues to lead. Well, a little bit of a lose there, and here's the opportunity for Colleen. Gets over the back wheel, gets plenty of power there. Moves to the inside of McDermott. He'll see the yellow flag as he goes by into the lead. Holding on is Luke Colleen. Going to get away from Jack McDermott now. McDermott's still giving chase, not going to give up. It's not in his nature. But your winner, bring him on home. Fabulous ride to Luke Colleen. Colleen from McDermott and then Mason.
Well done all boys. They're terrific. I'm looking forward to them progressing into 500cc and bolstering the local 500cc ranks. These guys have done lots and lots and lots of laps around Pinjar Park here, both the junior track and the senior track. Luke Colleen, a former, I think he's still the current Australian 125cc champion, is he not?
Don't know how that. I don't know if they've had that event. I think they had to postpone it because of COVID. So he might still be the his time in that one. Incidentally, Graham 67.831 and winning that final tonight for him. Another good night at the office for Luke Colleen. 67.831 his winning time in the 250cc final. They can go and put that one away. So we'll wait and see who comes out next. I think all the 500 boys will be in this one. It's been a night of attrition for them as well.
looking forward to seeing some of the photographs posted up on Facebook tomorrow, possibly with Graham Veazey and John Gall and Peter Roebuck down here.
Aren't we so lucky to have such magnificent photographers who are on top of their game and just so skillful at getting those shots? I would have thought it would be the B final now, because they'd want, well, certainly the winner would want some time between winning the B final and getting out for the A. They're not going to run them in succession.
No, it's a big ask for the winner of the B final to go straight around, turn it around and get into the A final.
Yep, so I would have expected, in fact, the B final to have been run by now, and the 250 and the 500 and the flat track to follow, but it's not what's transpired. But we're always pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I think we can see some bikes on the way. So this will be the B final. We'll quickly go to Paul Persick in the pits.
Thanks, gents. I'm by the bike of Scott Charlesley and Matthew Rees. Originally, they were meant to be in the B final, but it is speculated that they've got a serious engine or electrical problem. We'll have to find out when they get back into the paddock, but it is devastating that they're not able to take part in the B final coming up after some really good runs in the final couple of heats.
It is, you're right, Paul, because Scott is one of those people who really wants to commemorate not only sidecar racing, but pay his honour and respect to the man that this event's named after, Jeff Gittus. And I know Scott's opportunities to race have been few and far between, so to speak, but he's made the effort to come down here tonight and to actually have the opportunity to run in the B final, and then found out that the bike's got some issues. Very disappointing. But
he did run poorly in his last heat, so that probably accounts for that engine or electrical issue he's talking about.
Way off the pace in that last one. So here they are. This is the B. So we've got Jeff Bishop. He's in the white. So we're going to have the blue will be Lee Bujos.
And don't forget, Bujos is starting out on that spare Shieldsy Nashtec bike, so he looked really good in his last heat on that bike.
So Jack Fuster and Jonas Sitar are down on one, or in one. And up on the outside here is the McMurray combination. We'll see how we go. Important to get a good start, and getting a good start was the bike of Fuster and Sitar. So I don't know that there will be a restart in this one, because I think Bujos might have put himself onto the infield himself. So the challenge here is for Jeff Bishop to try and track down Jonah Fuster. Well, Jonah and Fuster. Fuster and Sitar. Jack Fuster, Jonah Sitar. Don't know that he's got the opportunity at this point. So as the race progresses, and we're going to see the yellow flag this time through, it's the youngster himself who would have a lot of support in that Mills drainage bike, number 45, as he goes down the main straight for the second last time. But not quite home yet. Down the back straight again. One last chance for Jeff Bishop and Chromie Holmwood to close in, but they're not going to do it. The win to the 45 bike of Fuster and Sitar.
Well, very well ridden, very good off the line. There was a bit of a coming together with Bujos and Blackman. Bujos protesting on the infield there, but to no avail. Referee said no, it was a fair bump, and you put yourself in the infield. Really, really bad luck for them.
So that's Fuster and Sitar through to the A final. So they'll join the field that we've already described of Darren Nash and Ash Shields, Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall. So they'll join those boys in what should be an absolutely brilliant Jeff Gittus Memorial Final.
Can you imagine the heart rate, the perspiration, the breathing, everything on that start line for the B final? I mean, only the winner to go through. You've got to win it.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy, you're under some pressure.
500's out now for for their final. So Nigel Flatman, he's down here on the gate.
Well, this will be another great clash with Kobe Zidis and Brian Miller. See if they can chase down Nigel Flatman off scratch.
I reckon that's going to be a tough assignment, but then again, so here we go. We've got across the track Brandon Coombe, Nathan Eastcott, Nigel Flatman, Mickey Godbold. Mick, you're supposed to be over here in 3, sunshine. Oh. He's going to organise himself. Nathan Eastcott, what's Nathan doing? Thinking better of it. He's thinking better of it. He's going to go and take a deep breath on the infield. We're ready to go. We've got 2 back markers, Zidis and Miller. Miller gets the better start of the 2 back markers. See how they can work themselves through. Miller's going to stay down low. He gets past Mickey Godbold. Nigel Flatman's cleared out at this stage as Zidis is going to come up on Brandon Cohn. Gets slightly not balked, but just has to put the lacquer brakes on and hold on tight as Nigel Flatman continues to lead. Nigel will probably come back in a fortnight's time to have another run. He's enjoying himself tonight. He's going to take one off the track there. Someone's dropped the model. It might have been Brandon Cohn. Was it Brandon Cohn?
Yes,
it was Brandon. Yep, so he's off the track. He's dropped the model, but he's quite happy. Here's Brian Miller with the big chance to catch up to Nigel Flatman. Down the outside goes Brian Miller, looking to the outside of Nigel Flatman. Going to get some drive off the back straight, are you, Brian? Yes, you are. You're on equal terms now around the outside of Flatman and holding on tight. Brian Miller, can he get to the line? Yes, he's going to get to the line and do it. Brian Miller, fabulous race. Left it to the last turn.
I didn't see what happened to Kobe Zidis there, but he's just idling up the back straight. What a great ride by Brian Miller. That's as good as I've seen him ride, I think. Look.
So Miller taking the win from Flatman. Did Kobe finish?
Well, he just crossed the line then as we spoke.
Oh, okay. So first was Brian Miller, second Nigel Flatman. Third place will go to Mickey Godbold as Brian Miller does some burnouts, 67.208 as we go to Paul Persick.
Of the B final, you're through to the A final, you must be elated.
Oh, super ecstatic. It was a brilliant ride.
You'll be starting from the yellow gate. You're wanting to get the best start and the undercut out of that first lap. How keen are you to do so in winning this Jeff Gittus Trophy?
We're definitely going to try our hardest. Whether it works out, we'll find out.
Well, you're up against some really big competition. I hope it all works out for you in the A final.
Me too. Competition's definitely hard, but we're all good mates and we'll see what happens.
Good luck out there, mate.
Thank you, Paul.
Jonah Cedar.
Plenty of smoke up here from Brian Miller's 500cc, and yeah, Jonah would be pretty happy getting through to the final. It's in some senses not a surprise though to see them at that level again, is it? Because Fuster and Sito have been putting a pretty good season together since they've come together. Not that when young Stevie McQueen is on the back with Jack Fuster equally as good. So, you know,
yes.
that Fuster combination, the 45 bikes, had a good year.
No doubt about that, Grant. They deserve their spot in the final. They battled hard all night long. And the cream rises to the top, as we always say in speedway racing.
So we got the flat track final. This is the penultimate event. Second last one of the night. See if Lawson's in form. He's got it makes it fun for us, Graham. You've got 7 as the plate on the bike. You got 5 as the number on the back, and it's different in the program. But you know, hey, you need a challenge.
Well, this is Brian Watson here on the white helmet, 72, and 2 on his back, I think.
Yep.
And Brooke Lawson, unmistakable in the green jumper and the older bike.
Yeah, and then he's next to Mickey Godbold, and then I think Raymond Coleman. Down low is Brandon Combe. Great start by Comey, but Lawson gets that 64 Beta, off and running superbly, jumps to the lead from Combe and Godbold. And you talk about cream rising to the top. These three boys probably done the best of the flat trackers, certainly tonight. And across the season, the Godbold and Coombe teams have been very prominent in our flat track racing. So Lawson leads this one again down the back straight. Lawson from Coombe, not actually getting away. Once he gets to the lead, he just seems to be content to be there. Be there on the Beezer. Lawson, Coombe, Godbold. And is that Brian Watson up in fourth? It could be.
I think it is.
We'll take a look next time through. It looks like he's got the blue jumper on. It could be Brian Lawson, one of our regular flat trackers, 62. It's Troy Ralph. We're going to give it to Troy Ralph, we think. Back there. Raymond Coleman through. A couple of the regular boys I haven't seen, but bring him on home, folks. Going to win this one. Brooke Lawson having a good night. Oh, I would say Coombe in second.
I think so.
Yeah, Lawson, Coombe and Godbold. So...
yeah, these
Lawson, Coombe, Godbold was the order in the flat track final. The time 75.083. I think we've got enough time to go to the pits, Paul.
Yes, we do. Moments away from the Sidecar A final for the Jeff Gittus Memorial Trophy. And we've got the man who's chasing back-to-back titles, Darren Nash. You've got to be ready for this.
Yeah, we're good to go, mate. Pretty relaxed. Had a good few meetings now, so had a great couple of seasons out here playing with the boys and having a really good time, just enjoying it.
You've had a few overheating problems with the motor throughout the night. Luckily, they've been solved.
Yeah, the poor old engine's done quite a bit of work, so it's time. We'll just do this last race and then it'll get pulled out, stripped and freshened up again. We're pretty lucky. We've got a spare motor there, and Mandurah City Yamaha KTM helped us out with an engine, which is awesome. So we've had that race prepped, and we'll put that in and probably continue on with that.
Hopefully it pays off for you and you're back-to-back champion for the Jeff Gittus Memorial win. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's see how we go.
Nice words there from Darren Nash. Nash will be out shortly. Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester out there already. They're ready to go. So this is the final. I'll see how they do line up.
How relaxed is that from Darren Nash?
Well,
he just comes out and enjoys it, lets everyone else build all the pressure. He just stays calm, relaxed, calculated. Well, good bike, good passenger.
If you can.
Gets the job done.
If you can stay that relaxed, well, I couldn't and I can't. So we got two of them out there. We got Mitchell and Cornwall, who've done a great job tonight. I think Russell Mitchell and Morgan Cornwall getting through to the final. Certainly, we've got a minute on the referee's clock to everybody get out there. So we're missing Fuster and Seatar, and we're missing Nash and Shield.
And don't forget, this is Russell's second meeting. The last meeting he appeared, he did a lap and was involved in a big crash and finished up sprawled on the track with young Morgan Cornwall and hasn't appeared since because his work commitments and so on. So Russell's done very, very well to find himself in the A final and did it the easy way by points through the heats. He didn't have to come through the B final.
Yeah, well, easy way. I reckon you're wrong. There's no easy way. You know, getting those points is tough.
Well, he didn't have to get more points in the B final to get there. That was the point I was making. But
you're absolutely right.
No, he's done well, and he's survived a big shunt. I'm not sure how his physical being is with his hip issue, but here he is. He's playing it with all the young kids.
So Nash and Shield have elected to go from 1.
Well,
Bishop and Winchester from 2. Cornwall, Mitchell and Cornwall from 3. And the remaining gate goes to Fuster and Seatar.
This is what we're here for, folks.
It is indeed. Oh, and a great start, absolutely sensational start by Daniel Bishop, and he'll know that he's got to stay low because Darren Nash is going to give him grief. Around the outside comes the 45 bike of Jonas Sidecar. Daniel Bishop's not going to take any prisoners tonight, I'd suggest. Daniel Bishop, your leader, from the bike of Darren Nash, who's dropped back to third, as Jonas Sidecar on the side of the Fuster bike, now challenging for the lead. Down the main straight again, Daniel Bishop. I wonder if he knows what's going on behind him, because here comes Fuster with a massive challenge down the back straight. He's just got to be able to tuck it in underneath and hope that Bishop drifts high. Bishop does not drift high. Here comes Nash back. What a race. What an absolute race. Nash and Shield battling with Fuster and Sidecar, and I think that battle is going to hand the race to Daniel Bishop. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Gittus Memorial, Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester. What an absolute beauty. What a beauty.
Well, here we are.
What a beauty. They got out of the gate and got it done. They made the gate, they held off the charge of Nash and Shield, they held off the charge of Fuster and Sidecar, and they have won it. Brilliant race to the boys on the 82. We'll be talking with them as soon as we possibly can, or maybe we won't be, and that's Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester.
Well, Darren Nash had his worst start for the night. You wouldn't believe it in the A final, and he paid the penalty. He got swamped with both Bishop and Fuster for a while, but he managed to get back under Fuster in the second spot, but the damage was already done. Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester were away and deserved winners of the Jeff Gittus Memorial Sidecar Classic.
69.170 is the time we're going with, though I would believe it would be a little bit faster. We'll head down infield. I know Paul's got to do some interviews for our internet commitments, and then we'll do the official presentations after that.
Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, the 2021 Jeff Gittus Memorial Sidecar Champions. Let's give these men a round of applause. First of all, Daniel, must have been a lot of hard work going into this night, but it certainly paid off.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad that I'm able to redeem myself after the state title. It shows that we had a bit of an off night, but that's racing. But yeah, tonight, cheers Justin on the back and Ian and the pit crew, and thanks Kaylee and Ivy for cheering me on, and everyone else to come, all the supporters. Thank you very much.
Starting from the blue lane, it really gave you a bit of an advantage here because you had great pace from the central line.
Yeah, definitely. I had yellow during the night and it wasn't very good. Red had terrible choices. I was quite surprised Nash went there, to be honest. But yeah, we just went bloody, why not? Send it.
Happy to lift the trophy up high, mate. All the best.
Cheers, thank you.
Justin Winchester, the passenger. A lot of effort has gone into it, like I said to Daniel, but it certainly is a night that you're going to remember.
Oh, definitely. We've had the last few meetings have been a bit average. We've had a few bike problems, but it's good that we can finally go out there and redeem ourselves tonight.
The bike absolutely looked perfect all throughout the heats and in the main event. When you took the lead, you were never headed.
Yeah, mate, we just put our heads down and just held it flat and did what we could do.
What about the track itself? You know, it started out a bit slippery, but then it smoothened out during the later races, and it must have suited you down to a T.
Yeah, the track's always awesome here. They always put on a good track for us, so I can't really complain about that.
Congratulations, and lift that trophy high.
I will do, thank you.
Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, the 2021 Jeff Gittus Sidecar Memorial Champions. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the new champions. And we'll go to the official presentations in just a matter of moments with Grant and Graham and the rest of the Pinjar crew.
You spoke earlier, Daniel, in the pits, I know, about being disappointed with your state title run. Does this make it up?
Yeah, I mean, such a prestigious meeting. It's nearly almost a state title tonight. But, yeah, definitely happy to be back on the pace.
What have you done different? Because I reckon the way you've ridden tonight, really different to the last couple of meetings.
We kind of just pulled the bike out of the shed and rode, to be honest. But, yeah.
You've just got it all got the wick right up as far as it'll go. You're coming out of the gate superbly. You dealt with everything that everyone could throw at you. Nashi, Jack, none of them can get you. So, you know, it's a great win. And I suppose it'll sink in, the fact that you've won the Gittus. Like the same way that winning the WA1 sank in.
Yeah, definitely. I've come second twice in this meeting with Dad. It was great to take it out. But yeah.
But yeah, okay. That's what I'm going to say to you the next time I see you. Justin, is it true? Did you go to a wedding and then come along and rock up and jump on the back of this bike?
Of course, it was my brother's wedding.
Did it go well?
For what I saw, it went pretty well.
I've got to ask this question. Were you asked to be best man?
Definitely not.
Okay, tonight on the back with Daniel, some really great rides. How did you feel going into that final?
Oh, confident. Me and Daniel always feel good together. I can't complain with anything he does. He's a legend.
We've got one more meeting here at Pinjar. As much as we know and as much as we've got control over things, next year is the Australian title. You two boys are going to be together for that?
I don't know. We haven't decided yet. I'll leave that up to Daniel.
Are you going to employ him again?
I don't know, mate. It's a hard decision, you know.
Well done. Congratulations. They are your winners of the Jeff Gittus Memorial. Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester, congratulations. Where are you, Nashi? Oh, right here. Okay. Congratulations, friend. Well done. Tough final.
Yeah, we probably didn't do ourselves any favours of that one. We obviously went okay through the night, you know, had to make a few adjustments, and then the feature race, we thought, you know what, we reckon we could probably shorten this thing up and get a bit more traction out of it, but to be honest with you, I made the call, wrong decision. You got to live with that, but well done to the boys. It was still an awesome race, and the crowd had a good night. And look, it's just great fun, and Ash did a mint job all night. The poor old bike's around the back here, steaming its guts out. It's had a hard time, so it's really time to pull that engine out and freshen it up. And you know, we've pretty much squeezed as much as we can out of that. Yeah, so thanks to all the sponsors, Shieldsy Engineering for building a great bike, obviously, and Mandurah City KTM, D&T Equipment Hire for helping us out. And I guess this will be it for us for this season, and we'll have a play over the off season and come back.
Yeah, I put the same question to you that I put to Daniel. And you're a brilliant team, and I'm not trying to pee in your pocket, so to speak, but you're a brilliant team. And by the looks of it, we'll have the Australian title here next year, so you're going to hang around together and have a crack at that.
Yeah, we'll build some fresh equipment and get a bit more organised, and you know, try and get a bit fitter as well. You know, it's obviously humid here tonight, so we'll try and put it all together so that when it comes here, the boys on the East Coast, you better bring your A game. You're going to need it.
They will need it. Shieldsy, don't you go away, because I've got a couple of questions for you. And this is sort of part of the question, if you like. I don't know how the gates worked tonight. You were the top qualifier. Did you have to run out of one?
Nah, we could have picked wherever we wanted, but the track being it was quite heavy tonight because we've had the big man throw a lot of water at it through the week. And I sort of thought that we could 100% make the gate. And, you know, Dan did a great job tonight. He was gating like a demon all night. It was like the old Dan from last season. Yeah. His bike was going well, and they did a great job. They beat us out the gate fair and square. And from there, it's always going to be tough.
Let's talk with Ash for a moment. Thanks very much, Darren. Let's just talk with you for a moment. When you're running there back in third, what goes through the mind in the final? You've won everything all night. You've won all the heats. It should be pretty straightforward, but you're back there in third. What goes through the mind?
Seeing, really. We got filled in pretty bad. We're both struggling to pull our rollies. So, and following another two bikes, and as soon as they stop, well, then you stop, so you find it hard to pass.
And you had a little bit of a challenge there on with Daniel, a little bit of a strong challenge. How much did you feel that?
It's always good to have a challenge, you know, and everyone's starting to bring their A game again, and Daniel's flying at the moment, so it's good.
It is good. It's great to see you boys race. Congratulations on your second place in the Jeff Gittus Memorial, and I know that both of you would honour his memory. Congratulations, Darren Nash and Ash Shield. Where are the young fellas? So they got away? Oh, over here. Okay. Jack, congratulations, mate. Well done. And Jonah. Pretty tough assignment. You made it through the B, and then the B was a little bit more straightforward. You're coming out of 4 in the A final, always full of excitement, and you had a bit of a crack there at one point.
Yeah, it was a bit tough the whole night. Did seven heats in total. Come through the B final was pretty tough, but still ended up. I'm pretty happy with the result. So, yeah.
You're allowed to smile, you know, because you're 17, still at school. Maybe that's the part you don't want to smile about, I don't know. But you know, you've got a great future in the sport, as we discuss. And like I've said to Nashi, I'm not trying to pee in your pocket, but you know, you're a great rider, and the combination you're going here, I don't know what you're going to work out with Stevie McQueen afterwards. That's up to you. But are you boys going to hang around for the Aussie title? I know that you've got a lot on your plate with study, stuff going forward. Will you be hanging around for the Aussie title next year?
Yeah, we'll see if it goes ahead. Hopefully it does, but yeah, we'll be there if it does.
Okay, so one more year at school. I wish you well. You're with us in a fortnight's time?
Yeah, we will be, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Jonah, I know you got interviewed in the pits a couple of times, and you've survived that. You've done well. Do you live with your old man?
No, haven't lived with my old man since I was probably 14 now. Mum full time.
I just wondered if there would be bragging rights across the kitchen table that you fellas actually made it through to the A, and unfortunately for Mark Drew and your dad Mick, there must have been some issues with the Drew bike and they weren't able to go on. But you've got the genes from him for sure. Wonderful swinger.
I've had the bragging rights since I was about 14. He's got to earn them back now. Mum and dad genes combined, can't really beat it, can you?
So if Jack's here for the Aussie title, you're hopefully going to be here with him.
He's got to pick up the phone and I'll be there.
Good stuff. Great young combination who finished third this year in the Jeff Gittus Memorial. Jack Fuster, Jonah Cedar. Well done, boys. We'll just get Rod Slater from Affordable Cars to hand out a couple of trophies to our place getters. Yep. Daniel Bishop's got an extra trophy with him. Oh, here we go. Hold the Jeff Bishop, well, I should say the Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester combination has got a spare passenger on board. That's good to see. So, folks, these are our place getters tonight in the Jeff Gittus Memorial for 2021 here at Pinjar Park Motorcycle Speedway. I hope you've enjoyed our night of racing. Certainly fabulous and very deserving winners. Save the best to last. Daniel Bishop, Justin Winchester.
And we thank you very much for... And we thank you very much for our viewers at home on front row screens watching around West Australia and around the world for tuning in to the Jeff Gittus Sidecar Memorial for 2021. There is your podium, but also on the top step, Daniel Bishop and Justin Winchester, your champions in 2021. So long, everybody.